Hello. You can hear me now. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome. I was not supposed to do a stream tonight. We usually do it on Thursday, but most of the week I was feeling sick, probably with strep throat, but I'm feeling better tonight. I've been drinking some Monster energy drinks, so I think I'll be good for the evening. We'll see. But so the whole thing that spurred this was that I saw a. Sorry, I just moved some stuff around here. I saw a Bill Maher piece where a couple of them actually, different interviews that he was doing. There we go. Go to the full screen until I'm actually doing that. So I'm going to show you some clips, and I'm going to post them in here as soon as I get into Discord so that the rest of the people who are going to be debating this will have seen it. That's what spurred this. And I just want to lay this out very quickly. I don't hate anybody, just so we're clear. I'm okay with, people of all cultures and colors coming into America. I'm fine with it. And I like the idea. I like the idea of all of us getting together into a melting pot, but having a unified culture and, working together towards a common goal. I love the idea of that. All these different ideas and cultures coming together. Fine with me. Okay. Just so we're clear on that right off the bat. However, there's also some questions I think need to be asked about the people that are really pushing this whole idea of diversity and especially diversity, equity, and inclusion, and diversity is our strength. Just this sort of blind parroting of these slogans, and I think it came out most with Bill Maher here, and I'm going to show you the clips that I'm talking about so everybody understands why I'm doing this, why I'm asking these questions. I'm really interested to hear some of the answers because, hey, I want to be convinced. Convince me of that, the progressive idea that it's progress to replace white majority countries, that's progress. Like that's progressing society further. Explain to me why that is, why suddenly it's okay to say like there's a group that's somehow hindering progress. In order for us to progress further, we need to, what's the word? Marginalize this certain group. I want to get into that. But first, let me show you this clip. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get it up here. Here we go. I'm going to pop this up. Let's go over to here. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's watch this.
First time in the 80s, and it was very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
How so?
Well, first of all, London was like all white,
Yeah.
Yep.
It was.
you know. So
Okay.
can we just celebrate that victory that we made a place more diverse and
Victory.
you know, you never get a pat on the back.
No.
The people who like achieve, I feel like in that area, there's only like there's more to do. Of course, there's more to do. But can we just get a little? Hey, I think I read in Andrew Sullivan's column like London went from like 36% to like 86% people of color or something like that. No, maybe that's too high, but something
majority
like a
minority.
50
Yeah.
like a 50-point
Yeah.
swing.
Completely
50
different
points
city, yeah.
Yeah.
in 2 generations, 3 generations. Okay, that's progress. I'm not a bad person to like clap for progress.
Okay. Okay, so took a couple quick notes there. So Bill Maher says that London specifically, and it's not just London, obviously, but London specifically, testing, okay, that it was a victory that it's a minority white now, a country that's historically, the indigenous people are white, right? The indigenous people there are white, but it's a victory that is no longer that way. It's no longer, that culture has been replaced. And we deserve, I guess white people deserve, or I don't know what he means by that, deserve a pat on the back, and that we've achieved this goal of like replacing the white culture in London with a Muslim culture. I think mostly that's what it is. A majority. I'll look into that here in a minute. And that there's more to do, he said. There's more to do. So once white people are a minority, there's still more to do. Like, this is all sounding very weird to me, you know? So I want to discuss this with people. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Discord, and I'm going to make sure these guys have seen this. We're switching over right now. All right, guys.
We do. They're
Hello.
they're awesome.
Hello.
I love them.
All right, guys, we are live right now. I just introduced everybody to the video that spurred all of this. There's actually another one. I'll show it in a little bit, but I want to make sure that you all have seen the video I'm talking about. Have you guys seen the Bill Maher video? I'm going to put it. All right. Does everybody in the Discord right now know how to access the debates chat?
We're all on it.
Yeah,
The debate
I
chat,
watched the
like
thing
the text
earlier.
chat, the text chat for this channel.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure. All right. I'm going to put a video in here. All right.
I got you. I
I
thought
just
it
want
was
to make
a
sure
trick
everybody
question.
can see this. Okay. No. Just all right.
Yeah,
So
I got you.
I just put it in there. Watch that very quickly, and I'm going to talk to the audience while you guys watch that. So yeah, my whole thing here is that I'm fine with immigration and all these things, really. Although what's going on in America right now is, I don't think that's what the founders intended, or, the Statue of Liberty builders and donators and the people who accept. I don't think that was what they had in mind. We have millions and millions of people coming from countries that are not diverse. Okay, these are not diverse countries that are coming here by the millions. All right, and it's on the pretext of Democrats, the Democrat Party, who have this idea in their head that if they flood the country with these people, that it will lead to a permanent majority for them, us, and it's just right in line with everything else going on right now. Like I've been saying on my channel for a long time that the left, the Democrats, they're working towards a one-party, uniparty kind of state system, and this all fits right into that. They want to, and if you don't believe me, they call this replacement theory. Okay.
When he says, was a lot of those people, did they come from rural England? They were Englanders, right? That came and moved into London? Or were they from other countries that he's talking about?
Right, they're from other countries. I mean, there's been a flood. I want to say it's mostly Muslim, but there's lots of different groups coming in there. But yeah, it's it's people from Africa, but these are mostly Muslim people. If you go out in London right now, it looks, it could be a street in Egypt or, you know, wherever.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my issue, and I'll tell you guys right off the bat. So
Welcome, Robert.
I explained to the audience at the beginning that I have no problem with people coming in here of all colors and cultures. I like the idea. I always have. And I like the idea of all these people coming here and we're all united in a culture, a society, and a goal. But we all bring our own kind of, you know, perspectives and all that to the table. I like that idea. I like the idea of it. I'm not sure it quite works that way as we're seeing, but one second. What Bill Maher said were things like, he said that London switching, the culture being replaced there, basically white people being replaced as the majority, that they were whites, Europeans were the indigenous people there. He says that it's a victory that they've been replaced. He says that we deserve a pat on the back. I don't know who he means by we. Does he mean white people? Does he consider himself white? I'm not sure about that. We'll get into that.
All right, so I'm gonna have to stop.
Hold on.
I'm gonna have to stop you for a minute.
Wait. Let me finish. He says we've
Okay.
achieved.
Okay.
I'm almost done. He says we've achieved this goal. We've achieved it, and that there's more to do. So once whites are replaced as the majority, there's still more to do. So this all sounds kind of nefarious to me. I don't think necessarily that he's nefarious. I think maybe he's got a brain virus where it's this virtue signaling thing where he feels very virtuous by saying these things without fully thinking them through. But go ahead. Go ahead. Dang, go ahead.
Okay. So the first thing that I want to point out is that England has not really been like white European for about 100 years now. There are other colors of Europeans in England than white people.
Of course.
So when you're saying when you're saying that
I'm talking about Anglo-Saxon. I'm talking Anglo-Saxon.
Wait. But you're saying two different things.
No, I'm not. I'm saying Anglo-Saxon.
Wait. Just let me fucking talk.
Okay.
Because you're saying that white people are being replaced in London.
I didn't quite say that. I was trying to be very specific. I don't think you heard my nuance. But go ahead.
Does replacing white people make
I said the
society
white
better?
majority.
Is that not the title?
White majority.
Does replacing the debate title on the screen says,
right, because white people are all lumped in together. Let's not pretend.
Better?
Yeah, let's not pretend that we segment all the different white European cultures. That we're all lumped in as white. So that's the pretext I'm going based on.
Okay, so there are two different things being said here. There is one being said that there are less white people in London, but how many Europeans are in London?
Well,
Because,
London
as
is
I said,
traditionally the
Europeans
indigenous people
now
are Anglo-Saxon,
not just
correct?
White.
Well,
I don't fucking care about the. I don't care about the indigenous people, dude. Fucking shut up. Let me fucking.
Suddenly
get my
that
thought
doesn't
out,
matter. Okay. Go for it.
England decided that they wanted to start bringing people in from other countries to serve them hundreds of years ago.
Yes, they started
Which
with
means
India.
that now the native population of England is not just Anglo-Saxon. So Anglo-Saxon fucking sucks a goddamn cock, dude. I don't care about Anglo-Saxons. What we are talking about is, are Europeans being replaced by immigrants, which is what you're trying to say, or are white people being replaced by the damned coloreds?
Okay, well,
I
there's
don't
actually
think
a
either of
lot.
those.
There's actually it's pretty like there's a lot of things going on really here. I mean, like, so yes, white people are being replaced as the majority, and yes, the traditional culture that has been there for hundreds of years is being replaced.
Can you guys hear me?
Okay.
And my
Yes,
question
Robert.
is simply this: It's being celebrated as this great thing. I'm simply asking why is it a good thing? That's it.
Go ahead, Robert.
So
If
you
anybody
in all
here
your
comes to
rambling there,
England-
Dank, you didn't say that. What's the good thing about it?
We do hear you, Robert. I'll give you a chance for your intro in just 1 second once Brandon
Okay.
and Drone have lulled off.
Dank, are you gonna tell me what the benefit is for the white majority that's becoming the minority, or what's the benefit to the society?
Do you want to tell me what the backdrop is, or
No,
what the what the problem is?
Well, okay. Well, so in this,
So I mean,
hold on. No, I will. Hold on.
your
Stop.
whole
Stop.
thing-
Stop. No.
your
No. No.
whole
No.
thing
Stop.
is-
Stabbing.
your
I
whole
got a
thing
thought.
is that
Stabbing is bad.
diversity is not good.
I got
Your
a
whole thing
thought.
is that diversity is not good.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
In the chat, you wanted to say that there are good cultures and there are bad cultures. So my next
Right.
question would be, what
Well,
is
I'm
a
saying
good
there's.
culture and what is
I'm
a
saying
bad culture?
there's better cultures and there's cultures that are not as good. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And do
So
you
what
agree?
is a good culture and what is a bad culture?
Well, would you say our culture is pretty good?
America.
Well, yeah, actually,
Would you say
I
Western
do
culture
agree. I
in
believe
general is
that-
pretty good?
Hold
Not
on a second.
perfect.
No, I would
I don't
not.
know.
So first
Yes
of
and
all,
no.
I would say the culture inside the police force in America is very bad.
No,
Yeah.
I agree with you
I would
there,
say
100%,
that's a
bro.
horrible
High five
culture.
on that. I'm with you.
I would say that the culture within people that want to make sure that nothing ever changes, that everything just stays the same because they are doing okay, or they view themselves as doing okay. I think that's a pretty bad culture. But no, I don't really think that any people's culture, as in American culture or European culture or Asian culture or Arabian culture, I don't think any of those cultures are bad. I do believe that there are bad people that take a
Stop.
hold of those cultures. Shut up.
No,
I do
stop.
believe there are bad people that take a hold of those cultures
We can simplify this.
and do bad things with them.
We can simplify this. Which culture on the planet would you say we need to emulate? We need to like if you were to replace American culture or Western culture, if you can generalize it, what would you like? Which culture or society on the planet would you replace it with?
Why would I have to replace something?
Well, because you're acting like there's like it's so like amorphous and like everything's basically the same and there's no like.
Do they still speak English in Britain?
No, why can't you just answer my question? Like it.
Do they
So you're
still have
telling me
bad
that
teeth?
there's all these problems with American culture. So which one would you replace it with? I didn't say it was perfect.
Wait a second,
American
dude. No,
culture.
I didn't say there were okay. Yes, there are problems with American culture. That doesn't mean I want to replace American culture. That means I want to fix American culture.
Okay, you don't want to replace it. Interesting. So what do you think you're doing? Like London is a great example. Like what do you think's happening there? It's being replaced with a majority Muslim culture. Do you think in the end that's going to end up better for the society there?
Again, dude, do they not speak English in London right now? Do they not have bad teeth? Do they not still drink tea?
Dude, I'm
At
drinking
this-
tea right now.
It's fading. I mean, they were just talking about in that Bill Maher piece I played that they're not. Like that's not a thing that really happens anymore. There.
No, that's not what they were talking about. They were talking about a skin color, dude.
No, you're
weren't
wrong.
fucking
Did you
talking
watch
about a
the clip,
culture.
the Bill Maher clip? They specifically
Yes,
mentioned
I did,
tea.
And Bill Maher was so goddamn fucked up, he couldn't even get the fucking stat out
Oh, here
right.
we go.
I
Now
don't
you're like,
fucking know
oh, he
what
was
the
fucked
stat
up.
is.
He didn't know what he
fucking
was
said what he
saying.
was trying to say.
Oh, okay,
All right,
okay.
guys, I think
So you
this
can't
is a good
defend it.
opportunity.
You
He
can't
didn't know what he
defend
was
it.
saying.
Everybody's watching. He can't defend it. So it's Bill Maher was fucked up. Okay, here we go.
All right, now's a good
Bill
opportunity
Maher's
to
always
take
fucked up.
a
He has a show where
sidetrack.
he smokes weed, gets high, and interviews.
All right, so
people.
I won that one. Thank you.
Let's just put it on the side burner for now. You guys can get back into it, but I want to give Rob some respect for coming, so I'd like to give him the first chance to do an intro if he wants and have any thoughts he has on it. The original debate topic that I'd prepped for was change my mind. Whites becoming minority through mass immigration is a bad thing. So Robert, if you want to have any thoughts on that, Try and keep it to 2 minutes if you can, and then we'll hand it off to Smoke, Steve, and Tyler. And then I'll open it back up for everybody to get back into it.
Okay, I got a question for the group. How many countries have you lived in?
2,
20.
3. Damn.
I've lived in 5.
2000.
I've actually lived in 5. I lived in the UK. I've lived in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Cyprus, stopped in Poland for a while, and I've also, besides the US. So I can tell you things that you don't probably know. Probably you have no idea about. One of them is, yes, UK is being replaced by Muslims. Most of the majority of the people over there are probably Poles or Romanians. They know there's a problem right now. You guys don't know there's a problem right now. Saudi Arabia is probably the most racist country I've ever been to in my life. U.S. holds no candle next to them. You have no idea what it's like to work there. UAE, on the other hand, is probably one of the nicest places I've worked at. They are some super nice people over the local Emirates, but they're also super rich. So they kind of look down on you. Cyprus is the only place I've ever lived to in my life that I actually want to retire. London, I would not. Great place to visit, fantastic museums, but if I was given a choice, unless I'm wearing a stabby vest, I don't want to live there. It puts Chicago to shame.
Steve, man, you had your chance.
Yeah.
Where's Atlas?
So when you guys talk about all these different countries, you better know that you better have lived there, or else you do not have a position to stand on. Because I'm one of the few that have actually been around. I've also been to Vietnam. Love that place too. And I'm probably going to go to another country here also, because I work for the Department of Defense. I get to go everywhere. Been in Afghanistan and in Iraq. So Drone, you actually know my name because we've talked before.
Yeah, I know.
We have a history.
You've been around a
So,
while.
Yeah, I've been around a long, long time. So the rest of you guys, we're talking about replacement. Yes, it is taking place. Probably not the way you think, but yes, it is taking place.
Well, can I throw real quick out there about the whole replacement thing? And I'm not into any of these like supposedly like white supremacist conspiracy. I don't know anything about any of that. But what I do know is that Democrats have been talking about the demographic replacement and demographics is destiny and all that stuff since the late 90s. So and that's well documented. They want to replace white voters with what they believe will be brown people from all these mass illegal immigration that will vote Democrat. They think they will. Actually, it hasn't quite worked out that way, but I feel like they're gonna move. They're gonna make it happen that way.
Yeah, when you talk about Poland and Romania, now they're very conservative. They are actually against some of the stuff that's going on. So I don't know why they're taking a gamble on that in that perspective. You're right. I don't think it's going to turn out the way they think, and they might end up losing the long run.
But I still want to know. So we really only have Dank here to argue this side. I wish we had a couple more, but I need to be convinced.
Tyler, dude.
Oh,
Tyler's here.
You guys, either of you guys, you got to tell me why does Bill Maher say? Why does Bill Maher and hold on? Why does Bill Maher and left wingers and so-called progressives? Why do they say that? And you hear it all the time. Why do they think that whites becoming minority is some sort of like progress? Like there's this board, and we're heading towards progress, and to achieve that, got to get rid of the white people. The white people are hindering that progress somehow. Like, why make this make sense to me? And
wasn't London traditionally like the upper class, like aristocracy island, portion of England?
You're not going to answer
to begin with.
Back in the 1800s, yes.
That is the fucking answer to the question, dude.
Yeah. Before that, no. Before that, it was super poor.
Let me jump in there.
So yes, that's going to improve it.
Yeah, give Tyler a chance to take his spot.
Go ahead, Tyler.
All right. So the reason why somebody like Bill Maher would say that is because he has a little bit of a anti-conservative view, and personally for him, when he looks at voting demographics for the party, he sees white people voting against the things he likes in policy. Thus, he associates white people generally with his political opposition. It's just silly tribalism. And there is a bit of virtual signaling in it because there are some good policies that came from the past that resulted in the diversity and the culmination of a bunch of different ethnic groups living together in a harmonious society. That is somewhat a victory lap for policies he supports.
Sorry.
So he just wants to go to heaven. Is that what you're saying?
No, he's saying my policy results have resulted in a more diverse community, and that's good. And also, I don't like Republicans or people that vote for them, so I'll be happy when that group goes away. I've heard different sentiments like that in the past.
Right, but here's my thing: is that if you have principles and you have this principle of like not broadly judging people based on skin color and not like otherizing groups of people, it seems like the left have got, and it's weird because Bill Maher on some level seems to be self-aware about the woke stuff, but then like when he talks like that, like that's pure like critical race theory, like woke batshit crazy stuff to me, because it's like when you say you're anti-racist, but like everything surrounding all the belief system and all that around it is like, as far as I'm concerned, purely racist, like overtly. And it's like this trans shooter, you know, she picked her targets and talked about white privilege. And people like me have been talking for years that like white privilege is a dehumanizing, broad, you know, demonizing generalization, and it's racist and it's gonna cause problems. And here you go. And I guarantee this isn't the only example, but it's the only one we really know of.
Well,
So when you start talking about like, oh, it's progress, if the fewer white people there are, the closer to perfection we are, I guess. Like, how do you think that's going to end up?
Bill Maher, I can't defend his exact words. He's got a little bit of partisan brain rot.
Right, but that's not it's not unique to Bill Maher. I mean, you're talking universities, the media, Joy Reid, like this is like mainstream, dude. It's everywhere.
There are quite a few people saying it, but the policies that they're legislating for and kind of trying to stand up for without the partisan brain rot factor component in there, then you could see like there is actually some good policy they're standing behind. I've made a long list of things that I would try to actually change your mind on that level if we ever get there.
Well, we can go for it.
I mean, that's a lot.
I don't necessarily disagree. Like I don't know if you probably didn't see it, but I had it in my opening of the stream. I explained that I'm all for the melting pot and cultures and everybody coming in here, and we all of us being united in common purpose and goal. Not necessarily like, you know, common ideology and common beliefs, but like we all basically believe in the same pursuit of happiness. You know, I'm all for that.
I wanted to jump in there. Because that was my only point in this whole conversation, because it seemed like it was more going to be the more of the debate was about people coming in legally and wanting to be a part of our nation and uphold the Constitution. Because if that's the truth, even if that's in a perfect world, it doesn't matter what color anybody is in anywhere. It's more a matter of a way of life of a certain people changing because of something.
Right. Like I'm really worried about the Constitution just going away. And it's like, it's not necessarily just because of this mass immigration, although I think they are probably going to be the most susceptible to just like completely dismissing it out, like totally. Right. But that's already hold on real quick. That's already like a major problem with our own society. Like in like our Dank was talking about our police force. Like our police force, they literally like most of them think the Constitution is just like a joke, and if you like invoke it, you're some sort of crazy or something. Like it's bad. It's really bad, and like this is only going to make it worse. Good. Sorry, I'm done.
I would hope you're wrong, but sorry, Robert. Go ahead, Robert.
No, invoke the Constitution.
Sorry. The new generation is going to do it, not mass immigration. It's going to be naive individuals out there.
It's going to be a combination.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised
every nation.
how many of the people from other countries actually like the Constitution and the freedom it gives them. They don't want it to go away. It's these stupid communists that are being generated within our society. They're the problem, and they're gonna wake up to a hard reality one day, and it ain't gonna be pretty.
Right,
but,
and we have all these.
People learn.
We have millions of people coming from these far left countries where, you know, they don't really have any sense of like freedom of speech or any of these things, and so they're coming into a country where our media and the dominant party right now, the Democrats, are really like demonizing like speech and certain rights as it pertains to their opposition, and that worries me too. And like these people are gonna like they're gonna get easily swept up to this in this propaganda, and they're gonna be on board with whatever they and the government wants to do to their political opponents, which increasingly I think is going to be very bad, like violent. It's going to be bad. They're already like chasing down people who are just like walking around the Capitol and shit, like years ago. That's messed up. Something's
So a lot
not
of
right.
people,
Are you familiar with the CARE Act?
Hold on, give Tyler a chance because he was pulling in
Okay.
first. Sorry, Rob.
Yeah, a lot of those people that are coming from those far left countries, Cuba and Venezuela in particular, are two that actually were susceptible to full blown socialism. A lot of people coming from those countries aren't the far leftists that endorse the government that's currently in place. A lot of them are the people that didn't get along with the government, those that were persecuted by the government for being in the opposition party.
Right.
So what you see with Cubans is they come in and they're like the strongest ally of Ron DeSantis in Florida, and Venezuelans are seemingly leaning right wing. It's a lot of people that come over as work migrant visas and such that are tending to vote left wing more often.
Right. No, I agree. I said that earlier that it wasn't quite working out as they had hoped, but you got to understand, like there's so many people coming into the country, and like I think these people they're coming into the country as it's being bombarded with this propaganda. Do you think they're going to be able to see through it? Like maybe they will. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I hope
Romney was the compassionate conservative. Jeb Bush ran on this in 2016 as well. The compassionate border conservative to personalize the border interactions and be less hard. Because the Hispanic community generally lines up more with conservatives on most issues, they're more against abortion than most white people in the United States. They're more against
abortion. Such a losing issue for the Republicans. Yeah. They need to drop it.
If they picked up Hispanic vote on it, Hispanics are way more against abortion than white people are.
I think that's what they're going for. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you pick up all these different religious groups, then the Hispanics and a lot of times black voters actually on issue to issue side more with the Republicans. The thing is, when you ask them, they think the Republican Party's racist and doesn't care about them. That's the reason they're deferred. An outreach program like Jeb Bush's compassionate border policy would have brought more of those people in. Now, Trump did increase the amount from 36 to 39, so he is still gaining at a steady rate with Hispanic. But Romney is the one that's actually held accountable for bringing that large number in the first place.
Yeah, we can't. We need to let these people know we don't hate them. This is propaganda. We have laws and stuff and we cannot pander to them and be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna like give you everything you want if you like us. Like, I don't think we should do that ever. But
I don't want to keep cutting Robert off, but I have more statistics on the data of like what migrants do when they come to the United States. Now, first generation, like they just came over the border, usually under earn the average U.S. citizen born in the United States. But if you have at least one migrant parent and you're the U.S. born child of a migrant parent, you excel way past U.S. born citizens because you have that. You came from that mentality. You didn't come from that meritocracy, and now you're in it. And that hard work that your parents inspired in immigrants are 80% more likely per capita to start a business. They hire more people in these low skill businesses or low under 100 employee businesses, small businesses than non-Hispanic businesses do. So they're contributing greatly to the economy. Even illegal immigrants, it takes a couple generations. It takes about 2 generations, but eventually illegal immigrants, kids, grandkids, are a net positive to the economy as well. So just purely on the economic growth argument, it's a good one.
The first part you made where it was a legal situation, that's logical to me. I would hope that the second thing that you said about illegals in 2 generations working out that way is true. I guess I'm more skeptical on that, but I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but 40 years of them sucking off the system till it gets to that generation that you're talking about. Now, let me tell you something. I was a subcontractor or contractor for years who did things legally. Now, when I go in and bid out jobs and other companies are coming in that aren't paying taxes, that are not doing shit legally, they don't have more workman's comp, and they don't even have liability insurance. But they're faking it all, dude, and they're getting these jobs illegally, essentially. That's total horseshit, man. and it undercuts Americans. And that's illegal.
Yeah, I'm not endorsing illegal immigration. I'm just saying from an economic perspective, it's a net positive to the GDP after 50 years.
Let me answer to the Bill Maher thing regarding London. So there's a lot going on over in the UK. There's a guy I follow on YouTube. I highly recommend everyone check out. He goes by the name of Based Welshman. He was going to protest daily to try to stop 200 middle-aged, 20 to 30-year-old male migrants who came over on boats were going to be put up in a hotel in a small British town of, 1,000 or so people. The UK government was going to pay for this, and it was something the town didn't want to have. They didn't want this. They felt threatened by it, and through their stand and their protests, they got this changed, which I think Welshmen should be proud of. The reason they didn't want it is because this mass immigration from these countries is causing like rape gangs. Have you guys heard about this? These grooming gangs in the UK? This shit is serious, man. And it's really happening. There's places that Sharia law is real in London. And also, all of these guys that came over on these boats now get immediately put into the healthcare system, which is free for everybody over there. These guys who just happen to make it there by boat now are allowed all these benefits that a British citizen is allowed, which now creates massive backups in the healthcare to actual British citizens because they're taking care of these fucking guys who came over on a boat and just made it there.
Yeah, it devalues British citizenship. Same thing here.
It's fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, and here in the state of Massachusetts, we ran out of fucking beds. So now this contingency of people like myself says, well, let's save some for the residents of the state who might come upon hard times. All of a sudden, oh my God, these people only want to give beds. No, we only can afford to keep so many families sheltered in this state. Maybe we could keep a percentage for state residents and not random people who are shipped here out of some system. Now, the state of New York has got 65,000 of these people. Massachusetts has about 7,500. So this is the way it's going around the country for states that are accepting these people, and it's fucking us all up, man. I mean,
okay, so I do want to kind of comment on that last thing there. A lot of homeless in the United States, they don't want to go to the shelters. Even homeless families don't want to go to the shelters because there are very few shelters that will keep families together. They will separate the men from the women and the children. Instead of putting them up in a private area where the family can be together away from the single people, they choose to separate the women and children into one area and the men all into another area. So a lot of American homeless families especially don't want to go into shelters.
That may be true, but not here in this state. This is a very liberal state, and they keep families together. That's state law here. Now, I can't comment.
Actually, the state law doesn't matter because, God damn it, what is it? Goodwill? Yeah, Goodwill is, Salvation Army is like a religious institution. So the state laws about not separating families don't matter because they can't like stop their religious beliefs that men and women should not be together. So yeah, like it doesn't really matter what state you're in. If it's a Salvation Army, especially, or any religious affiliated facility, the government regulations doesn't matter.
Okay, I was talking about purely state-funded shelter system. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and religious institutions also get those state funds. Yes.
sure, Franciscan House, all of those. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. They do good things, but you're right. Maybe for them, it's a matter of keeping people from freezing to death. So, like,
I mean, I've been in homeless shelters in Arizona, uh, so like I kind of know like what that system is,
mm,
and like I said, you know, anyone that was a religious affiliated, there were a lot of rules that you had to abide by, and Americans don't want to abide by rules, especially adults. That you know we see ourselves as free people, and we want to do what we want to do. So like if you can find a homeless shelter that's not connected to a religious institution, then yeah, they're going to be a lot more open, but religious institutions typically are not.
sure, sure.
I wanted to give the chance to,
Go ahead.
sorry,
No, go,
Robert,
go.
we kind of cut you off a little bit earlier, put you on the back burner. You mentioned something about the Patriot Act. If you want to say anything about
No,
that or any other thoughts you have, go for it,
I
man.
talked about the CARE Act.
Oh, sorry, the CARE Act.
That's the Afghan relief effort. Yeah, that was something that Trump started years ago, and before the Afghanistan fell apart. Now I was over in Afghanistan. I left about a year before it fell apart, and I went to Iraq. When it fell apart, it even affected me over there. But the Afghan relief effort. Now, some of the people that you saw on the TV, they were going on the airplane. I actually knew. One of the guys was he actually owned a small little shop on board where he sold, you know, groceries and he had jewelry and all the rest of it. He made it back, but his family got stuck over there. When he got back, they interviewed him and they had a nice little video presentation of him being rescued. And they set him up in a hotel, not a hotel first. Then they gave him an apartment with three other guys from Afghanistan, paid him $750 a month, gave him free training, free medical, and they also gave him the hotel, or sorry, the apartment for 1 year. It's only for 1 year. After that, he has to secure a job, and he has to, and they will work toward getting the rest of his family over. No, so they were actually giving those people in Afghanistan. He was a collaborator with helping the United States. He wasn't an interpreter or nothing like that. He just had a little shop there, but he was on the base at Camp Alvarado. So I knew him and I would talk to him every now and then, and I bought some challenge coins and patches, and occasionally I'd buy some toothpaste off him and all the rest of them. But he was a super nice guy. I have no problem with him coming over because I know that if he stayed there, they would have killed him. And they might have already killed his family. He couldn't get his family over the wire. They were trapped on the other side. There was actually nothing he could do to save them. So he had to abandon them behind just to come to the United States with the hope that maybe in a couple of years he might see them again. I'm not sure if his brother made it over because I only knew the one that did. But he was still incredibly grateful he managed to survive. And he was one of the few that did.
Well,
Now, will ever he acclimate into it? I do not know. I don't know what he was. I don't know. I know he's in Austin, Texas right now. He spoke really good English, by the way. So he had that one up that a few people didn't have. But if you're talking about some of the other ones coming across that they left on to come across because they wanted to, no, Biden screwed up in a way that you'll never ever fathom because he just wanted to let everybody have a chance, and he gave everybody money, he gave everybody an opportunity, but he drained our bank accounts to give somebody else from another country a chance to live here. We'll have to wait and see how this works out in time.
yeah, and
Remember,
you see the the left and Democrats love to promote the mass immigration into our country until you start sending the bus loads of the people to their cities, and suddenly they have a problem with it. I think that's
just send them
very
on to
telling.
Biden's house. Let's see how well that works out over there, or Pelosi's house, or some of these other ones. But now the Palestinians, they want to bust them over here too. Oh my God, no, no, no. We're talking some seriously screwed up people over there.
So are we done? I mean, I haven't been convinced of anything. Just so we're clear, like nobody here has convinced me that. Well, as far as like, you know, I'm not against like people coming into the country from the southern border or any of that. I do worry about especially the mass amounts of people coming from like all over South America into the country. Who's coming in with those people? I do worry. I think that could be bad, but and nobody's convinced me that like white people becoming a minority is going to improve things. I don't understand this idea that that's going to make things progress and get better.
It's not. It's not going to make it progress, but it's inevitable.
I don't think that's actually happening. I think people that make that claim are a little stupid.
No, it's inevitable.
I mean, that's
I
what
just-
everybody's saying.
I'm not
Okay.
saying like people that make the claim like Bill Maher did, not like saying it's I think it's a little dumb. If you look at Hispanics, according to the Pew Research, I can link it in the chat if anyone likes. About 50% of Hispanics that come over to the United States by the fourth generation identify as white, and that gets more and more as the generations go. So Hispanic people are generally coming over here, acclimating to our customs, and eventually calling themselves white at a pretty high rate.
Yeah, I mean,
Ed Cruz.
I'm not, Hispanic people, as far as I've ever encountered, are good people, and I have no reason to think that they're not. And I don't think that they're bad people or anything. But yeah, I'm thinking in terms of millions of people, and then how that's going to work out as far as how society is structured and which direction we go, whether it be like a far left direction or a more centered or right leaning. You know.
Hey, could you blame that really on the Biden administration for not properly processing? We're not really taking in that many legal immigrants per year. We're taking in 900,000 last year, and it's not particularly a high number. So the fact that they're so compacted in certain areas, like there's a border town in Texas that had like 15,000 people, and then they put like fucking 10,000 migrants there, and it like completely blew the town's economy out and destroyed it. So like you have to properly put these people in certain areas, and when you have Texas doing it, and I get it's a good political dunk, but when you have Texas doing it, they're just sending it to blue cities, which could overload those cities that aren't ready for it. But if you had a good government program,
But they're the ones that are promoting it, so they should get it.
I agree.
They should get it, and
I
they have
agree.
no
Back up a
problems.
second.
They have no problems with these border states getting it, and they're not prepared for it. So
but a better
The
precedent.
900,000 you're talking about.
Yeah, it's not really. It's a drop in the hat compared to the United States population.
did you
That's
say that
really
was illegal or legal?
legal ones.
That'd be
Legal.
legal.
That's great. I want
Oh,
more
okay.
legal, more of that.
But even
see,
even
Yeah,
for
we're
the
not
legal,
getting that.
I'm just curious how
because
accurate
I
the
know
numbers
legal
are, that's
people
all.
genuinely want to be Americans, which I'm all for. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what religion or what culture. I welcome them.
Yeah, because they're already going through the paperwork to do the whole thing legally, so that you
Right.
think they would actually care about the rest of the paperwork.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. It's just this mass, millions of people just coming unchecked almost like through the. That's frightening to me, and I don't think it'll end well personally.
Is it
And
about
I have
seven?
nobody has made an argument. Dank, I don't know where he went, but he made no argument for why. You've done a pretty good job, I think, Tyler. I think you've done a good job explaining, that Bill Maher
think that-
talking out of his ass, basically. But the thing is that there's lots of mainstream big people saying the same things.
I think that if Atlas or Liberal Cluck was here, they would revert to, as soon as we talked about the border, the fact that it's not an open border and that it's not actually a mass immigration situation.
I
And
was
what
going to
is
make
it?
that point as well.
If it's not mass immigration, what is it?
7 million people have come to the border since Biden took office.
Yeah, it's over.
5.5
Right.
million have been turned away. So
Wait, how many have been turned away?
5.5 million. of the
Really?
7
Is it that
million.
many? Let me look that up.
I think so. I think 1.5 million they said were lost in the interior somewhere.
But look
Maybe
how
I'm
it's
just drinking the
affected other
propaganda Kool-Aid then.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like. It doesn't seem like that's what's happening. I guess I'm not digging
So,
deep enough. I honestly don't think it's
3.8 million migrants have entered the U.S. since Biden took office. 1.5 million snuck in and are still here.
That doesn't
How do you
sound
know?
right.
How
either.
do you know if they snuck in? Who's counting the sneak-ins?
Shoot, muddy
think it's an
footprints,
estimate.
Brandon.
Well, there's also camera footage and stuff where people are getting in. And there's tons of footage out there, people just streaming in through areas where there's no authorities or anybody to stop them. And there's
why
tons
do
of
I keep
footage.
saying
I
fentanyl?
gotta say, there's also lots of strange footage of border agents like cutting down fences and shit and letting people in. Like, what's that about?
But no,
Well, they
no
don't want
more.
them to get hurt in the fence. drone.
No,
Come on.
no more border agents on horses. Ooh, that wasn't a good look.
Right. Well, no, but that turned out
Oh,
no.
with the
But you know
leash.
that turned out to be
No,
all a lie. That whole
I
thing turned
think
out to be a lie.
I know. I think personally it was awesome, and they were stopping people from running over the border, and we're on horseback. What the hell's the problem? No.
It's like a
All right.
police chase
Well,
when you start going real fast. And either they tell the police, stop chasing that person. We have their license plate. We have their address. You're going to cause a public incident if you chase them through the streets that quick. Stop pursuing. That's the same idea. Don't make them walk through barbed wire fences. Let them come through and we'll process them. We'll let them apply for asylum. If they get turned down, we'll ship them out. So
Yeah. How much does that cost?
a bit. Couple billion.
$7.38, Robert.
Damn it! I knew.
Hey,
I didn't know
everybody,
that.
I hear a ton of police sirens outside. If I get swatted, I'm just letting you know right now. Like, so, I don't know. I
Sorry,
hear a
be
ton of
bad.
sirens outside. I don't know
Well,
where.
don't put your
going
damn
on.
address
for you, dude.
online. What the hell's wrong with you?
It's not. It's not. I don't think
But
that's
I gotta
gonna happen.
ask
I'm just throwing it out there because it's so weird that they're fading away now. Never mind. There they go.
But I got a question for the group. You have
Okay.
legal immigration. You have illegal immigration. How
Yes.
much has it affected legal immigration?
How much has what affected legal immigration?
How much has illegal immigration affected illegal immigration? No,
Right.
sorry, I have it back.
Right.
How much has illegal affected legal? That's what I
Gotcha.
It's a good question. I would think that if people could risk it and have a good chance, because I just got finished doing the legal route, and you have to have your ducks in a row. You have to have the money to do it. You have to have support. You have to have all these things.
Who are you paying?
You have to pay the state for all the paperwork and the government.
How much time did it take?
Back and forth, I'd have to go again and figure all that out. I don't think it took too much time because
20
we
hours,
were in
say?
a very good situation.
What'd you say? 20 hours and $10,000?
It was close to $10,000 to do it for both of my boys.
Okay.
And no, I think it was closer to $7,000, but that's a lot of money for me.
Sure.
You didn't have to pay that for your boys.
And for the time, I would like to thank my wife for helping with all that stuff. So I'd have to ask her for the actual numbers.
Right.
If I had to do the paperwork, it probably would have sucked because I'm not
Right.
good at that
Alright.
stuff.
Lots of whiteout.
Okay.
All right.
I
Are
had a
you
couple of
gonna
questions
finally
as well.
convince me, Dank, of why it's progress for whites to become
Ren.
minorities in their
I've just
majority
got
countries?
a couple of questions for you.
Yeah.
So I posted a chart. I posted a chart earlier in the chat. It was an animated chart that I pulled out of Wikipedia when I looked up the demographics in London. So the last year it
Pie
stops
chart.
on is
Oh, I see it.
2021.
I see it.
So exactly which culture is it that's listed here that's bad and causing all of the problems? Because it doesn't really seem like they're replacing
didn't
white
say.
people.
I didn't
Because
say.
this chart,
All right.
hold on a second.
You're not
This
listening
chart
to what
shows,
I'm saying. Okay, good.
This chart shows that the demographics of London is still more than 50% white.
More?
Yes.
You need to go to Birmingham.
Okay,
Hold on,
Birmingham's
I'm
not
looking
in
at my
London.
own. Hold on, I'm looking at my own real quick. I was
Take
just
your
going.
savvy vest.
I
That's all you
literally,
need to do.
guys, I don't have time to like look a lot of this shit up. I'm so I was just going based on what they were talking about. I assume they knew what they're. So I'm looking it up myself now. I probably should have done that. I'm looking. So it looks like.
Can I answer
You're right.
while you're looking
so
that up?
yeah, white. You're right. White right now is 53.8%, but that says 2021. Why is there no 2023 data?
They're all gone.
Well, I mean, this was pulled off of Wikipedia in
Oh,
like
wait.
5 minutes, dude.
Oh, hold on. No. I know.
Like,
I was
every
looking
time
at the same
every
thing.
time I try to like look things up like that, I kind of get like rerouted to other things. I've probably lost my gift for like Googling things, or I don't really know the right
I know what you
keywords
mean, man.
to Google in
You're
these
good, man.
things.
I know what you mean.
Just
Um,
duck it.
I used to be really good at finding things on Google. Everybody asked me to do it. But yeah, like
You're right. It does.
according to this, as of 2 years ago, it's still more than 50% white.
Yeah, you're right.
And
I'm
the
seeing that
other,
too.
like,
Hey, I'm seeing that too.
the,
You're looking at the color of this chart. I would think that the ideologies would be shifting based on religious beliefs of the people coming into the country, because
You
it
really
seems
gotta
like.
go over there.
Go ahead, Robert.
You just need to go over there and pay a visit. All these statistics have no meaning until you physically go over there. It's changed so much.
Yeah, I've seen videos that show
Yeah.
like how it's changed.
No, I
yeah.
mean I've been there. I'm telling you, it has
I believe
changed
you.
so much.
So I mean, so Robert, could you so my only experience was more in Australia, and there was a
Yeah.
lot of Islamic people coming to Australia, and in a short period of time, halal laws were starting to be on the books. So it was
Yeah.
actually changing politics in a very short period of time. Would that relate to your experiences? Not so much just for Islam, but would you see religion coming into an area and changing the politics more than just the race of the person?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah. Take Sweden as an example. I mean, they pretty much destroyed that. So, and my wife's Swedish, and she refuses to go back there. She cannot. She doesn't want to go back to Sweden because she's afraid of being raped.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how bad it's become. So regardless of what you guys think, yeah, I mean, granted, the white race has never been what you might call the sunshining example, but for the most part, what's being replaced by is not going to be good for the long
That-
term.
Look, yeah. I mean, I'm not like I feel like I've made it very clear. I don't want to virtue signal anymore, but like I don't hate any groups. Like it's not a race thing. Like I know Dank is convinced that I'm talking like racial purity, like or something like that, like a racial nation. It's not like that at all. I'm not calling for an ethno state or anything like that.
There's no such
But I
thing
am
as racial
worried. I
purity.
am worried about not as good culture replacing a good one.
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
And
Real
so
quick,
I do
Dank.
want to touch back on that again. Yeah.
Dank, I did put an animated graphic in the back chat that does your pie chart from 1961 up to 2021. So when you see that, you can see that there is
Yeah,
a vast.
I think that's the same thing. I just
Before you guys,
screenshot. Yeah, it's the same one. I just screenshotted it instead of linking
before
it.
you
I
guys
didn't
go
really
down
know
another
if
tangent,
that it would do
Knight,
that.
could
It
I answer
worked.
Robert's question real quick before you go down another tangent?
Yeah, go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, that. Oh wow, yeah, that is different. The people can see it now
Robert.
that are watching. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Look
Wow.
at the animation there. That really. Yeah, you were misleading us there, Dank. Very misleading, sir.
So Robert, your question.
No,
was
I
how-
wasn't. What's misleading
joking.
about it?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
What's your question?
Your question.
I mean,
was
the
how,
biggest.
It is
Go ahead.
misleading a little bit, what you presented, but
how has illegal immigration harmed legal immigration? Correct.
Yes, that's my
Okay.
question.
So I would say in practice, not that much. In theory, probably a bit. We have anywhere from 12 to 22 million illegal immigrants in the country. And I would say the looming presence of that group of people has probably caused us to take in less legal immigrants than we could have in that time and not upset our labor markets and things like that. But otherwise, a lot of the programs that these people draw from, there's no, it's not like a or a zero sum game. There's no rate. It's really just costing them as much as any other taxpayer to pay for illegal immigrants, and that's about
Okay.
it.
I can buy that.
Can I throw another question out there real quick?
Yeah.
That we've kind of not covered. Like, why is this only happening in our like? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is happening in other countries where the population of that, like maybe India or Pakistan or Iran or Iraq, like wherever, like those.
It's not happening in Iran.
All right, like whatever, Mexico, pick a country. The countries the people are coming from that are coming here, are those countries diverse?
No.
Okay, so why is it
I think
only
the bigger
our
question is, are those
countries?
countries allowing?
Why is it only the white majority countries that have to be diverse?
They're not Democrats.
No,
a leftist
Dank,
thing.
can you explain that? Like Japan, would Japan be better if it was a majority white? Do you think, Dank?
They
Okay,
are
Would,
the
it, would they
majority.
progress?
Wait a minute. Wait
Would
a
they
minute.
progress into the future?
I was asked a question. Let me answer.
Would they be
it.
like?
Let me answer it. Would you shut up and let me answer?
Yeah, I'd love to hear your
Okay.
answer. I can't wait.
So,
like an angry
the
white
answer
dude.
to that is very the answer to that is very simple. The American culture has, for the entirety of our country, been that we are a nation of immigrants.
No,
And
okay.
we welcome immigrants here.
Okay,
I
agree.
mean, we were.
You're not answering my question.
Gifted, hold on. We were
Can you be
gifted from France a statue that was built by slaves to depict our freedom.
What? You rewriting history now?
Hold on. No, let's not. I don't want to let him get away with this. I don't want to let him get away. And
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
else, you got to explain
Yeah,
to me.
my house is built by
Why?
slaves too, by the way.
Explain to me.
The Statue of Liberty was gifted to us by France and was built by
You're right.
slaves.
And I
yes.
talked about that earlier. Yeah. Anyway, explain to me why it's advancement in progress for white majority countries to become white minority countries, but literally
because
every
that
other
is our
country
culture, dude.
every other country in the world.
You're saying
that's not.
you don't like American culture. You're saying
What?
you don't like American culture when you're
So,
saying that.
are you saying
don't
every
like
country should
that
be America?
Immigrants are coming into this.
Majority, an American majority, all white people should move to these countries, take them over, and make them America. What are you saying?
I
I'm down.
believe people should move to any country they fucking want to, or stay in any
You used
country
to do
they
that,
fucking
Tron.
want to.
Right, but what other country is held? Like only Western countries are held to that standard. No other country is, and which makes me question.
Okay,
it. I wonder about it.
Wait, dude, wait. Let me answer that. Okay, I can answer it from my point of view. I
Right.
don't live in other countries. I want my country to depict my point of view, or to pattern after my
Right,
point of view,
but
which my point of
in your
view has been
opinion-
bred to me by my
Okay.
culture.
Okay, so from your point of view, from your culture that's been bred in you, Japan, your views and your perspective on Japan would be better, correct? If it were like a minority Japanese, right? Correct?
I don't care about Japan. I
No.
care about
Why
America.
can't you answer the question though? Just answer it.
Because
would it be better
I did answer the
or
question.
worse?
I don't give a fuck. I don't
You
give
won't
a fuck
answer
what
it.
they do in
You won't
other
answer
countries,
it
dude.
because you know it would not be.
I-
Japan would cease being Japan.
Well, Australia is
What would
not
it be?
Chinese, so
Wait a second. What would the land of Japan be if all white people moved there today?
It would not be. It wouldn't be Japan anymore. Like our culture would take over.
But why?
Our culture
but
already
why?
has a
That-
heavy
that
influence.
that land mass is known as Japan. The things that are in that landmass are known as Japanese.
Right. Well,
So why would a race moving there change what that land is?
oh, you mean like Australia,
over
You
time
mean
it would
Greece?
fade away.
Turkey, all the rest of them?
Over time it would fade away. That's what would happen.
Yeah, every nation fades away.
Right.
It would just
right, but we
disappear.
got it. Right. That's inevitably what happens. But I think the goal is to keep it chugging along as long as you can. Why are we committing suicide? Is what I would ask. But whatever.
Well, you
Because
cannot
we got a good thing
immigrate to our
going here.
land.
Let's keep it going.
You cannot immigrate to Saudi
Why?
Arabia. You can't immigrate to pretty much any country in the Middle East. Why?
Okay, but I've got a question.
No, you
Why
never answered
is
me though.
American
Whatever.
culture?
You keep
Why
ducking
is
me, dude.
American
You
culture
keep
in
ducking
your
me,
eyes a
Dank.
suicide pact?
Dank, you
Why
keep
is it on
ducking
a
me.
suicide pact? Because of
okay,
Democrats.
wait. Okay, so what does America mean to all of y'all?
It means Star Trek,
Guns.
man. It's like freedom,
Guns and
liberty, pursuit
Hollywood.
of happiness, exploration into every frontier.
titties.
That's what it is. Titties, yeah, titties.
That's actually
ass,
a good question. I had to think about that one. That's a good question.
IPAs,
Texas Hold'em.
beer bonging IPAs, and then smashing the can on my head. That's America.
Skateboarding.
That's a very, very good question. I got to think
Titties.
about that.
Well,
No, it's just- it's what we got here, man.
Drone,
Come
I see your
Okay.
point of view if that's your point of view of America.
Hey,
So
look, look.
nowhere
America,
in your
you
point
know,
of view
you
of
and I
America-
both
wait,
know that no other
wait.
place is America in this world.
Greetings,
But I
Atlas.
wouldn't live here if I had a choice.
Okay.
I was born
Okay,
in Pittsburgh,
but look,
but I wouldn't live in the U.S. anymore. I would
But okay,
move.
look, I'm trying to explain to you, Drone, that I understand your point of view since everything that you listed is what you believe America is, because everything that you listed did not include immigrants.
No, it does. Immigrants. Yes, immigrants. That is part of it also.
But
Dude,
that wasn't the first thing that came
why
to
do I
your
have to
mind,
virtue
dude.
signal that shit every time? I already said multiple
When
times that like I'm all for the idea of groups and religions and everybody coming together in a common cause here.
Dude, no, look, dude, you're always constantly talking about the left doesn't care about America and the left hates America, and I'm telling you that my view of America is that we are supposed to be a land of immigrants. What we were taught in school. I don't care what they're teaching right now. What we were taught in school. Okay. Because we're all old men right here.
Can I ask you? Right? Can I?
Hey, man,
Can I stop you and
that.
ask you one question? And this is it. So when all the Europeans came over here, in my opinion, I know this might sound harsh, but like the culture that came over here and basically did like kind of take over the land, they were a superior culture. Okay, so it was an improvement. It didn't work out so great for the indigenous people. I agree. But in the end, it was an improvement. Like the people that are like the millions and maybe all of them are amazing people and they're going to make this country like way better. And I do hope that is what happens. But like we're talking about people coming from cultures that are not as good, from ideologies that are not as good. Like what makes
okay?
What do you mean by ideologies not as good?
Why do you think the European culture was an improvement over the native culture of America?
Well, that was, I mean, the native culture of America at the time was basically it was just out of like, you know, caveman era, you know, I mean, it was just like very violent.
Wait a minute. No, they weren't. No.
It wasn't a democracy. It was violent.
They were in tune with the land.
In tune with the
land. They
land.
were hunter gatherers.
My God.
The things.
Come on, stop, Dank. Stop.
Shut up
Hold
for
on.
a second.
No, you stop.
Dude,
it was not in tune with the land. They were barbarians.
In tune with the land.
They were they made war. They took over land. They had slaves.
Who was it that the goddamn white people asked to show them around this fucking country?
No. The white people.
Was it another white person that they brought with them?
It was Pocahontas.
I saw that movie.
And her raccoon.
I read that story when I was in school because, as I've said, I'm an old fucking man.
Oh God!
Do you know the story of Thanksgiving?
No, I don't.
Oh well. Anyway, I don't know what your point was there, but
I think his point is that if we put our ear to the ground, we're not going to be in tune. The Indians we will never listen to the earth like that.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, I wish that would have worked out better. Personally, I think it would have been cool, but it would have been cool if our cultures would have intertwined better and developed together. That would have been interesting.
Let me ask you a question. Why is it when people want to learn how to survive outside of society right now, what things do they learn?
Well, when I went to survival school, we learned how to set traps. We learned how to skin. We learned how to read footprints and all the rest of it. And we learned how to start.
Okay, now what? Now, wait a minute. Now, what in all of that is not a Native American trait?
All of it.
None of those are traits.
None of those are traits.
Those are skills, dude.
Hey,
Dank, real quick, let me throw out there.
You think the people in Europe didn't know how to do that?
Of course they did.
You think they were taught by Indians?
Hey, let me just throw out.
That naive.
Hold on, let me throw out there that Dank just made a racism because literally the definition of racism.
Your topic is racism. You wanted to change topic and wanted to divert Dank.
I don't want to change. No, I don't want to change. But he just assigned a trait. He just assigned a trait to a racial group. That's racism.
You're talking about culture and skills. He's sharing skills with the culture. You need to actually try to be charitable. You need to try it for once.
I was joking.
You
Dude,
are
have
not
fun.
joking. You are not joking. You are being as
I
little
was
charitable
laughing.
as possible. I don't care if you're being a little charitable. Let me bring.
I'm
the
glad you're
temperature
here,
back.
Atlas.
Be charitable. Be charitable to his argument. Stop joking about it and address it actually.
I did. You just got here, by the way, right?
You're right. I got here 5 seconds
Okay.
ago, and
So
already
hey,
I can hear how
so
bad
slow
things are
your
being.
roll. So slow your roll, because I've been here doing this for like an
So
hour
keep
now
going.
or whatever.
Keep going,
so
dude.
chill out.
I've been listening.
Okay, so chill out. Go ahead. Say your
think
piece,
it's funny
Atlas.
though.
Go for it.
Real quick before you guys go
I
into it.
asked you to try to be to engage with this argument in good faith.
I
That was
want
my
to.
ask.
I want to.
No, then by all you now once again have my permission to have the floor to speak and try again.
All right, before you guys go back into it, I want to make a point about the skills of different nations having survival skills. They may be different skills, but I do believe that every nation has people with survival skills.
And the survival skills are probably in tune with the culture per
In
era.
tune for
Like,
their land.
like the Celtics probably had their own culture, while the Native Americans had their culture, had others, right? I mean, like,
Right?
Can
I would
we
think
try
we
to
would
be
benefit from the natives in their land, wouldn't we?
I agree. I don't understand how this is so crazy to engage with. It seems
As
very
people
easy to
with
engage with.
survival skills.
What's
But
easy
means-
to engage
by
with,
means,
Atlas? Specifically, what's easy to engage with?
My
You-
whole
he-
point.
your whole point is our culture.
No culture is better than another.
Right, no culture was
I'm
better
not
than
gonna-
another. You came in here saying that we can't. Our
No,
culture.
I
is
didn't say that.
awesome.
I didn't say
You
no
said-
culture was better than another. What?
You said our culture was way better
No,
than theirs.
right. I
and
said that
that's
there
what-
are. No, I didn't say no culture is better than another. I
glad
said
we-
there are better
we can rewind the
cultures.
tape. I'm glad it's recorded. We can rewind the tape.
What? I never. My entire argument is that there are superior cultures.
It's been like 3 minutes, everybody. So roll back 3 minutes.
Everybody.
Atlas-
Does
Atlas,
anybody
his
here
stance
honestly
is
think
that there are
that I
better cultures than
believe?
others.
Does anybody here honestly think that I believe that there is no superior, that all cultures are equal?
This is where they edit flash cuts to you saying it like 4 minutes ago.
I never
think
said
he's
that.
Having a hormone overload. He sounds young.
I do believe that cultures in the past believed they were superior to other cultures.
No, I
That is
definitely think there
historic.
are superior cultures. I think our culture is
I mean,
superior
Japan during
to the
It's
culture
limited.
that most of these illegal immigrants are coming
Limiting
from.
you go way back in time, and just about every culture out there thought they were better than the rest.
What about immigrants from our southern border? Is it inferior or superior about them? What about those cultures
I
make
don't-
them inferior?
I shouldn't say culture, actually. I should say the societies they came
Circumstances.
from, not their culture.
Well, it's your
'Cause they're-
topic. You got to
No,
pick it, right?
no, look, so-
is it
right.
culture? Is it race?
Well,
what is
what
it?
is my topic? What is my topic?
It was-
Debate.
it was
Replacing
changing
white
the
majority
war.
countries is progress.
Through mass immigration is a bad thing.
No, wrong.
It
It's
is a bad- it
debate.
is a bad-
Replacing white majority countries is progress.
I'm
That's
reading,
the debate
I'm reading the
topic.
prompt. I'm sorry.
Okay,
That's
well,
my
the
fault.
debate
It's,
topic. All
it's
right.
my fault for reading the debate prompt on the screen. My fault.
Is it? Wait, does replacing white?
This chat room is a different one. I'm trying to fix it now.
What are you talking about? Is it? Does replacing white people make society better?
I
And
got here just a few minutes ago, everybody.
replacing white majority countries is progress. Like what you were saying was something. All right, anyway.
What about our Latino and Hispanic brothers and sisters from south of the border? What traits are they bringing in that's making our country bad?
I didn't say necessarily bad. I just you're coming in so late to this. You did not listen to the whole thing. So
Brief me. Do it in
I
2
will.
minutes.
I will brief you.
Summarize.
Okay, so I have
Full-
no
I think
it's an
problems.
individual base.
Listen, I have no problems with people of all cultures, religions, skin colors, whatever, coming here. I prefer it legally. But what I want is all of us to be at least have a common idea of a common trust of what holds our society together, and not like these like completely divergent ideologies. And it seems like with the mass amounts of people that are flowing in, I know that Democrats hope that those people will come in here and give them a permanent majority. I know that it may not work out that way. It hasn't actually so far. So, you know,
Because they're mostly evangelical, right? Most of the people coming in are religious and spiritual. And
Exactly.
have a lot of conservative values.
Right. Here's the thing, and I talked about this earlier, is that I do worry with the propaganda onslaught that our government and media are engaged in against their political opponents, that people, the millions that are coming in now, will be easily susceptible and swept up in that, and they will be easily manipulated into the Democrat, you know, and they're getting a lot of benefits when they get here, and if they're dependent on these benefits, then they're going to vote for who they're getting those benefits from. I'm just saying that there's definitely questions if this is actually a good thing for the country, or as the title of the stream is replacing a white majority in countries. Like, why is this considered progress, as Bill Maher called it? He's so excited about it. He thinks we should get a pat on the back for it. I'm simply asking, like why? Why is that a good thing?
I have no trust or faith in you to characterize Bill Maher successfully. I want you to tell me.
I played the video and I took notes. I'll tell you what he said.
I want you, Dronetek, to tell me your reasons. What traits do whites possess in America? Keeping the majority. It's part of your title. I'm asking you.
Part of my
what
title.
Traits about the whites people? What about being white makes it a majority country? What are we keeping when we keep it white? Other than the melanin on their skin, I'm asking you, what do we keep?
Obviously, I'm not. You know, you're coming. You're just like Dank. Like, you're coming at me like I'm some kind of like ethno-state, like I'm some sort of ethno-state nationalist or something.
You're offended because I asked you one question. I asked you one question.
Right. Okay. So I don't think any of that. So your question's bullshit right off the bat.
One question. I asked you, what about white people? Because you're saying it's a problem if white majority is.
I'm saying that the white majority United States. I'm saying that the so-called white majority United States, the white majority other Western nations have done pretty well. The societies have done pretty well for a long time, and that, like.
What about white is important? What about the whiteness is important?
It just so happens to be like, look, so it's funny that you're telling me. Hold on. Okay, so one thing here. So the Smithsonian and some black group, I can't remember what they're called, they put together this chart of what they considered white culture, and it listed. Are you familiar with this, Atlas?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so
I can give two shits.
Do you know what the Smithsonian is?
I do know what the Smithsonian is.
So they put this chart, and it's called. They say
the Smithsonian's put it out.
Hold on, be quiet. They said.
Tell me to be quiet.
You won't let me finish. You won't let me finish. They put this chart together saying this is what white culture is, and it listed out all these different traits of white culture, and they were things like the nuclear family. Saving money, time management.
We don't have those anymore.
The scientific method. They were calling these things white culture. So I'm operating under that standard, okay? The standard that the left and the Democrats and the Smithsonian.
I want to link it. Let's see it. Let's see this. Let's see what it is.
1 second.
Let's see it.
All right, 1 second.
He's talking about whiteness generally.
Yeah, that's what.
What do you think, Tyler? What do you think for our whiteness? What do we have as a white people that's our strong point? I've been racking my mind and I don't know what it is.
I think he's using white as a stand-in.
Sorry, I'm listening to the most racist conversation I've ever listened to in quite a while outside of work.
Well, sorry, Robert, but I am curious for the question. Like, I just think of myself and my family. And
I'm putting it in the chat. Do you see this, Atlas? What I'm putting in chat?
What they're saying about white is they're using it as a stand-in for Western culture, though. Essentially, it's not
right. That's what I'm talking. I'm just talking about whatever the group of people who have been behind the societies that have been most successful to this point.
A cute screenshot of something that has no citation.
No citation. It says right there. Like, oh, hold on, 1 second. Hold on.
It wasn't this. This was a
Okay,
big story a
so
couple
all
years
right,
ago.
so I can back Drone up on this. This was put up in the Smithsonian a few years ago.
Oh
It
my
was
God!
there
Everybody
for
record
like
this moment.
it was there for like I don't know how long. They got blowback from it. They took the shit down.
Whoa! So they took it. So
so
hold on, it got criticism and it got taken down. So it's not
No,
even
but
current.
this is.
Yeah.
Does anybody deny that this is what the
Notice-
mainstream
notice
left
you're
thinks?
outrageous. It's not even a current. It's not like a policy. It's just, you got
Okay,
triggered
here we
over
go.
a sign. You
Yeah.
got triggered over a
Oh
sign. Good
boy,
job.
here we
You asked him how
go.
you asked him to define whiteness. He gave you a poster. This is how I want to define it. Here you're calling
I
me
asked,
triggered.
I asked Dronetek to define whiteness, and he
Bro.
told me he deferred to somebody else's stupid
Wait, you
idea.
didn't ask me to define whiteness.
I
You asked
absolutely
me.
roll back the tape, everybody. Everyone, it's a good thing it's recorded.
I talked about this earlier. I just said, like, European cultures. Obviously,
So
this is
glad I
like a
came late.
banner. Why? Like, why? I don't even know why you'd ask me that. Like, what's the point? What are you
My
trying
point
to prove?
I am trying to ask you, what
You
about
said what
the
trait? You said what trait do
ask-
white people possess?
I have not finished one sentence.
That's
May
what
I
you
finish
asked.
one
You
sentence?
asked me what trait,
Dronetek, will you allow me to finish one sentence?
and I'm giving you a list of them. There you go.
Dronetek, will you allow me to finish the
Yeah,
sentence?
I gave you a list of traits. But
Dronetek, will you allow me to finish the sentence? Yes or
yeah,
no?
go for it.
Thank you. What I am trying to get at is, what are you associating with? What other characteristics about whiteness are you associated with? Because for me, all I see is a melanin count in their
I'm
epidermis.
not talking about whiteness.
You lied. You lied when you said I could finish. You lied when you said I could
Go for
finish.
it. Go ahead. I already know what you're gonna say, but go ahead.
Such a liar, Dronetek.
So yeah, you don't even need to, because
yes or no? Yes or
it's
no?
not about
Like,
skin
it's not.
color. It's about
You put it in the title. You're
know,
you're the one who's
because
saying
that's
that
the
there's a
way-
problem.
that's
So,
the world
for
we live
me,
in. So I have to talk about it in
saying,
that.
What I'm saying is, these traits that you are calling Western are learned characteristics that can be taught to any human
Exactly,
who has
I
an
agree.
ear or brain.
I
So
agree.
nothing about immigrants who come across the border cannot be taught. There's nothing intrinsic about
agree.
these immigrants.
I agree.
Well, okay, well then I'm glad we agree, and this debate's over. Thank you.
Okay, I agree with all that. I have no disagreement there. And in fact,
Oh,
I would say
super
that
easy.
this list of
Super
things.
obvious
Hold on,
part.
listen. I would say this list of things that the Smithsonian, and it wasn't just them. I got to see the other group here. It was some black.
Former Smithsonian page that is no
Right,
longer
right,
there.
right. But they
Okay,
did put
okay.
it out
So
there.
make-
Hold
make it
on,
clear.
listen. I would say that this list of things is very Asian. I would say, like, a lot of these things are things that Asian culture prioritizes, and so it's
For-
definitely not race related. I would say
Who
these.
is in
What
this
I would
Discord,
say. What I would
to
say. Be quiet, please, Atlas.
Check out for putting box. You don't give me a chance. I'm not going to give you. You know what I mean?
I would
you
say
don't
this is
respect
a
people's
list.
kindness, I'm not going to give it to you. Right?
I would say this is a list of things that ends up in successful societies. Is what I would say.
It's entertaining for a while, but if you guys care too long, I will give other people a chance.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done
I
talking.
would like to
I'm
hear
losing
some
my
type
voice
of
right now.
conversation.
I
I'm
already
still
won.
sick.
So I'm
I
done. Go
still
ahead.
don't feel
Somebody
good.
else.
I mean, you didn't already win, dude. You like telling him.
I don't know who you are, average debate listener. I really don't care, dude.
Yeah.
I all you've given me is shit talk. I'm glad you do research. You have some good research tools. But since you met me, I have no idea what your problem is. But you need to take the stick out. You need to take the
He's
stick
just a
out.
little whiny kid throwing tantrums. So shut
I
the
am
fuck
probably
up.
older than you, dude. I am probably older than
Hey,
you.
hey, kiddo, shut the fuck
Dude,
up.
I am
Atlas is
probably
62
older
years
than you.
old.
I am 162.
He walks with a walker with the tennis balls on it. So
It's like-
Sounds
it's
of it. You're
just a fucking-
69.
I get the free handicap space.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to get back to the actual subject, man, because again, it's really easy to figure out what you mean by white or whiteness is the standard of Western culture, and you don't want it supplanted. We've already talked about. We've already gone over the fact that you're fine with legal immigration as long as it's not too much to change the culture of the place you're. I want to say though, a lot of the talking points you guys have been bringing up from England, these were really good talking points in 2014, 2016, when these roaming rape gangs were happening. There's been persecutions, there's been deportations, and that rape rate in England has fallen. Oh, it's the same thing with Sweden. A lot of these problems have been taken care of themselves with time. And now France is even going overboard to the point where they're deporting people that are saying that they're pro-Palestine in too aggressive of manners. So
I think that's crazy. I don't like that.
they're very happy. They don't have First Amendment over there. They're very happy to kick people out that don't eventually assimilate to
Yeah, I
their
don't-
culture.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that happening here either. Except for the people that tear down the signs and they get on video. I think that's free
Stand up.
game. But
stand up for Dark Brandon, who's had a very good 2013 in terms of his presidency, best one yet so far. He put a law in order in February of 2023 that if you get caught sneaking over the border, you're not allowed to apply for asylum for 5 years. So,
Wow,
I have
what
a
an
question.
open border! What an open border!
I have a well, based on open border, yeah. So when you look at that chart that was put earlier, where it shows over time, like from 1960 something, where it was 90 something percent white people in London, I guess, and then it showed around 1990, it really started to jump in immigration. For ourselves, what is the difference between before the open border and after the open border of the influx of immigrants? And the second half of that question is, how long will it take for us to actually see statistics to show better information? Because right now we have people that are talking about certain things like crime and whatever, or jobs and whatever. I'm just, if anyone has any thoughts on those two questions.
I know that I think as far as far as the U.S. whites, I think we're still like 65%. Apparently our birth rates are keeping up or something. I don't know what's going on, but we're still like 65% of
You're
the
welcome.
country somehow. Yeah. Well,
I'm telling
I got 4 kids myself, so.
Hispanics, dude, they're starting to fucking every year, more and more Hispanics start identifying as white.
Really? Well, they
Yeah.
get called. Hey, they get called white when they commit crimes. The media is like, they're white.
36% of Hispanics in the United States identify as white.
Have you seen people have been posting on Twitter these crime pages from law enforcement from around the state, and they count these clearly like Mexican people, the South American people as white in the crime stats. And black too. There's
Yeah,
like black people.
I don't believe just every screenshot post that I see people posting online.
No, I know. There's
does, though.
it's
Tech
a
does.
rabbit hole. There's maybe we can do a stream on that, but yeah, it's been confirmed. It is happening.
See,
It is real. We can go into it, but yeah, it. Do you want to go into that? I can start bringing that stuff up.
I don't want to do
all right,
anything
well,
right now.
I kind of wanted to bring up, because the question was asked. The pie chart looks crazy right around 90s. Well, the pie chart just shows the number the number of ethnicities percentage over the course of that time. It doesn't give you any reasons why those immigrations started, or why those die-offs might have happened, which is another question that I'm asked that I want to ask. So where are all the white people going?
Just birth rates, and
I don't think they're going anywhere.
Right, they're not going anywhere. It's just that
They're
white
marrying the
birth
immigrants.
rates are going down.
Diluting the bloodline. That's what he would say.
Okay, so what
It's
you're
dying
saying,
out.
what you're saying is that white people need to start like fucking more, stop using protection.
Well, no, our borders need to be secured. That's all. Like, there's just millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people coming in. Like, what do you think? Dang, dude, just pretend like that's not happening.
But wait a minute, dude. If the white birth rate is falling, then white people are going to be replaced eventually anyway. So even if you lock the country down, what is going to guarantee that white people still exist?
I never said
So
that.
no more abortions.
And I
for
never
white
even
people.
said, I
Got it.
made it clear it's not necessarily connected like skin color. Like, it's just like it's an understanding of
You're just grouping them. You're just grouping the boxes together.
of the Constitution. No, look, I brought up the
You're just putting
Constitution
people in the
earlier.
boxes.
No, listen to me, Atlas. I brought the Constitution
listening.
earlier as an example. Our own culture is losing sight of how important the Constitution is. Much less people by the millions coming in from a country that has no concept of what it is.
Who's gonna remove the Constitution? Right? Like,
Wait. Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
You
Like,
pointing to the Constitution has nothing to do with like immigration. Like I have no idea what you're.
What?
I still don't know what the problem is. I still have no idea what the actual problem. Like where are we culturally?
I just
dying?
told
Like,
you. I
where
just
are the
told you a
alarms?
problem.
You
A
said the difference
misunderstanding
between
or an
falling. I couldn't care. I
ignorance
don't care.
of the importance of the Constitution and the fact that in our own culture, without immigrants from
I think you're
South
shadowboxing,
America,
dude. I
without
think you're
that,
shadowboxing.
without that, we have a serious issue with people not understanding the importance of the Constitution. Our police forces don't freaking think they think it's a joke.
When
they
I
think
say
the
you're
Constitution is a
shadowboxing,
joke.
what do you think I mean?
What?
When I say you're shadowboxing, what do you think I mean?
Fighting with myself.
Yeah, very good. You do understand.
So real quick, I want to
Am
jump
I?
in there about the Constitution a little bit for you.
I was making a point about why the mass illegal immigration is a
you, dude.
problem. How's that shadowboxing?
Hey, average debate. What were you saying, dude?
Okay.
I wanted to just jump in really quickly and talk to you like about the constitutional infringements of the past. So during the Civil War, Lincoln suspended the First Amendment and was arresting reporters that were reporting positively on the South in the North. So like we've had infringements on the Constitution throughout history. I'd argue that right now it's a bit better than it's ever been. And with police in particular, that's a really recent cultural shift. They still talk about the old days. There's still police officers that were there during the old days when if somebody talked back, they just beat the shit out of them. So that's
killed them.
That's a really recent.
There's a famous
shift
video. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah, that we have all these police rights, or these rights with police for citizens is a real new thing that has been getting better with time. So it does look like police don't care, but they've had to care more now than they ever have.
Look, dude.
Only because of people.
I've had my life threatened. I've had my life threatened by a cop. Pulled over, had weed in the car. They was searching me. Had weed in the car. With
He was threatened by a police officer. What he said.
Yeah. So I was pulled over years ago. Had weed in the car. It was like a quarter pound or something. So they had me on the hood. They're like, searching me and everything. And one of the cops searching me, telling me, "Go ahead, man. Please move. Make any move. I want to shoot you." This was
That's
20 years ago.
profiling, dude. Just because you were the only person driving down that sidewalk and he pulled you over.
Yeah, welcome to America.
But no, I mean, like, my point is that, like, cops, you're good. Cops are okay with just shooting citizens, and that is what the problem is. I don't really care.
I may not like Tyler, but let me just seal him in. You would say that it's better now than it is 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
well, I think it gets to
definitely.
Tyler's point is that there are periods in history that are far worse than there were today.
And the biggest infringement on the Constitution is a president who refuses to step down from power and asks his vice president to amend and withhold the Constitution so he can stay in power.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't like Tyler very much, but you should listen to him, Dronetek. You should listen to him. I don't like him very much, but you should listen to him.
Follow me.
I think we get your point there, Atlas.
Whoopie fucking do. Anyway, yeah.
You just come off so aggressive, dude. You just, smoke a little bit of weed. Jerk
I want you to can I tell you something?
Are you talking to me or Atlas?
Already elevated.
No,
you're
already
elevated
elevated
here. Okay.
Yeah, no, Atlas is just so angry.
Yeah, but you're not fat enough, Drone.
I want you to know this. I'm always at a 10. Okay, so I make sure that my engagements are rare minimum. I gave you guys a break for the first, however long you were here. Okay, chill. I gave you all a break.
I think you don't really address any points. I was really trying hard to address your points.
Every single one of your points.
I was trying to address every. I was.
Don't say that. You're not. You're saying something that's not true.
Okay.
We can go back and rewatch
What's your
this.
Point? What is your point? All right, let's have a final showdown right here. What is your point?
What's something I haven't addressed? I'm going to ask you. What is something I haven't addressed?
The question: replacing a white majority countries is progress? Yes or no?
No. I disagree with the premise.
Okay.
I disagree.
Well, that was the premise. Bill Maher said it. He said it on several shows.
You should be smarter than Bill Maher.
Well, he's not alone though. That's like
he
the
is
virtue
alone.
signal of the mainstream left.
You appealing to somebody else's virtue signal doesn't help
Atlas.
anybody.
Well, that's what this was based on, right? He said it was a victory.
Thank you.
He said it was a victory, and that we deserve a pat on the back. I don't know who he means by we, and that we achieved this is what he said, and that there's more to do. And my question is, what is that more to do? What does that mean? More to do?
Yeah, well, for we, you could say that media. He could group himself into that group when he says we.
But when he says, let me ask you this. How much influence does he have in media, right? I know some people are like,
he's just echoing. He's just echoing the mainstream narrative, though.
Sure, he's echoing some people out there. You know what I mean? I can find kind of like what Tyler said. I can find people who will totally buy into Trump's narrative about anything, right? But the point is, we're supposed to come over with compromise, right? We're supposed to find some.
But Trump is widely propagandized. They're trying to throw him in prison. They're literally trying to put him in prison before the election.
He's trying to go to prison himself by himself.
Oh, whatever, dude. I can't
Yeah,
believe
dude.
like you fall for. Look at all the indictments. There's 100 indictments. That
I
proves
had-
how
if
real
I
it
had
is.
an indictment- But if I had an indictment from a judge, I'd be taking it seriously. I would be taking it way more seriously.
Hillary
than
Clinton should have been indicted. Joe Biden should have been indicted.
Your whataboutisms doesn't address
but
what
they
I just
should have,
said.
but they aren't because
What
it's a
coulda,
system.
shoulda.
It's a system where they aren't indicted unless they need to
Glad
get
we're
rid of them because they're a
just, you know,
threat.
just
When they're a
armchair
threat, they do
philosophizing.
indict them.
Drone, that Florida indictment is pretty serious. You
No, it
probably-
isn't.
Why can't
None
you
of
take
them.
any?
I bet nothing
No,
happens.
see, this is my point. This is my point. You thought that like there's a decay in people not taking the Constitution seriously, and yet here I have you as a demonstration showing how you actually don't care about what
Here-
the law, what other people's laws, or you know what I mean? Like you actually
I
don't
do.
care.
I do.
No, you just
but they
said
have
you
to be
don't.
equally applied, Atlas.
They are equally applied. You just don't
No.
think they're applied.
No, they
you
aren't equally
your
applied.
team is losing, and you're
No,
upset
no.
about it.
They're not equally applied. That's clear. It's clear.
They
Why-
are equally applied. The
what
law has
way?
been applied equally.
So why
no.
is it that Democrats, the media,
I-
can
I-
unleash this whole
More
all these
pla-
people in Hollywood can
I need you to be
unleash
more
this.
specific for me to care.
All right, whatever.
Let's
Okay.
give
Can
Robert
I,
a
I'm
chance
losing my
to talk.
voice.
Can I
and I'm
interject?
done anyway.
You absolutely
Give
may.
Robert a chance.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to interject with something quickly because I'm going to have to go. My wife came home and she brought up a point to me that I think is very appropriate to this conversation. I mentioned before that she will not go back to Sweden because it has become too dangerous. When Trump was around, she felt safe, but now she wants to carry because of Biden. That's happened only recently. So, regardless of what you guys
Robert, let me
think,
ask you something. Robert, let me ask you something when you're done.
What?
If I get robbed at night, should I never leave the house at night ever again?
no,
Not unless
you
you
should
strap it,
always
bro.
be able to live,
So
but you have to be. It is called
I
situational
don't
awareness.
agree with your characterization of how when Trump was in charge, that just the world was better. There's nothing magical about his ass cheeks being in the office.
Hey, Dick,
But I mean, at the same
first
time,
of
that's
all,
his
it
wife's
was
opinion.
a
and
very,
that's his
very
wife's
safe
experience.
because police weren't defunded, and he had control of the situation.
Police are still funded.
Biden has control over nothing.
Okay,
Nothing.
there's nothing in what you just said that I can really address with. You express your
don't care.
feelings, and I agree. I agree.
No,
I agree. You don't care,
This is
right? I
my
agree. You
wife
don't care.
we're talking about. So if you're going to talk about my wife,
I'm
and you're
not
gonna try
talking
and
about you.
insult her
I'm
with my wife,
I love
will
Atlas's
reach down there,
style.
grab your
Actually,
fucking throat, and
Look,
rip it out,
I did
show
not.
it to you.
I did
I
not mention your
totally-
wife.
I don't
I did
care.
not mention your wife.
You're
You're
trying to
just mad.
criminalize what her
You're
feelings
mad.
are. That regates into me, and I have no
I
problem
asked you a
hurting
question.
you.
I asked you a
Okay,
question.
but wait a minute.
You-
Wait.
Problem
Okay,
is you,
wait a minute.
and you think that Biden, the Messiah, the glorious leader of all
You're offended that
fucking
I said Donald
Democrats
Trump's
are
ass
gonna
cheeks.
take
Yeah,
and
I
okay,
said
wait
people.
a second, dude. Wait a second, dude.
to the United States.
Wait a second, dude.
All right, Brandon, you have the mic. I muted him. So that was a bit of a derail, guys. I know you
Okay.
guys are passionate, but we got to take it back down. If Brandon felt uncomfortable,
we need to
we gotta take
recalibrate
it
or
down a notch.
something. I'm
Okay,
about to.
okay,
I'm
Brandon.
gonna walk away for a minute. I'll be
now,
right back.
look,
Go ahead,
I would
go ahead,
like
Brandon.
to kind of put. I would like
I
to
need
kind of
bathroom
put the
You.
the thing out there to say that I personally felt uncomfortable when
I
Trump
don't
was in
care.
the office. Okay,
I don't
so
care.
you don't
He's
care
true.
about
I
me.
really don't care.
Atlas
I don't
doesn't
care
care
about
about
your
your
feelings
wife
one day.
because
I
it's
don't care
all of
about
our
you.
feelings.
If you were laying in the
Because
street, I would step over top of it.
Real Christian-like behavior.
Jesus fucking
Oh.
Christ, dude. Okay, so like the right like to say under Trump, facts don't care about your feelings. All right, so yeah, your wife might feel uncomfortable, might feel not safe under Biden, but I don't know what kind of propaganda your wife is being fed, so I can't really account for your wife's feelings. You can't get mad at somebody for like trying to say that, and in my view, that's all Atlas was trying to say, and you took completely derailed and like soyed out on that. So I'm
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
done with it.
I can give it even
Okay,
more
guys.
polite spin. Real quick, Robert, to help your wife better sleep at night, I would advise looking more into your state and local elections where the actual policing is held. You want to make sure you're voting for DAs that are going to actually fund police and prosecute crime. Biden has little to no control over your local police and what they can do. A lot of it is your local and state elections. So I would just keep looking to the DA you're voting for. That's probably the biggest thing, and make sure you're voting for politicians that are going to fund police, and you'll be more safe than most people in the United States.
I agree with everything Tyler just said.
All right. The mic is going hot now. Let's be good, boys.
Biden has been in charge. This is what's happened. And this is what he's created. So you guys can take and live any way you want to live. But as far as I'm concerned, we pack now because of him. We didn't before. And if you try to rob us, yeah, 2 in the chest, double tap, and you're done. No problem stepping over the body.
Got to make sure they're not a zombie.
I hope you live in a
Oh,
standard
definitely. They got
ground
tap in the head then.
I just hope for your
But
sake
yeah.
you're in a standard ground state.
Just so you know, guys,
I think you
just
need to
want
relax.
leave with that and just go home because the wife wants to go to bed.
Go
But
to
you
bed.
know, you always got that one individual that tries that just pisses you off. But in the end,
It's definitely me. I totally agree with you.
Hey, send your wife
oh,
for
definitely,
advice,
oh, it's
Darren.
definitely drone. You know it's drone.
No, I said me. It's definitely me. So there you go.
Just keep in mind, wife is off limits.
I didn't talk about your
I'm
wife,
fine.
dude. I didn't talk about your wife.
I promise not
No,
to
you
touch your wife.
imply.
I did not imply shit. Stop it.
Keep
Be an
going.
adult.
No, fuckface, stop it. Okay, you're talking about some guy who has no problem insulting you just for as a
Right.
hobby.
Do you think I have a problem? This is
Okay.
why, you're already mad at me. I
No,
didn't
you
even.
don't even know how to speak
I,
English for the
I
most part.
disagreed with you, and you got mad at me. I disagreed with you, and you got mad at me. I demonstrated the illogical pattern behind. Well, you know, it was dark. Trump was president then, and so now it's they're
No,
safer.
you
You
have
didn't do
no
any kind
logic
of actual
back. And you want
analysis.
to hear her voice? You want her to tell you
Sure,
herself
Sure,
that
man.
it was back
And
in the day of Trump
tell,
day that
I
she
would
felt
tell her the
safe,
same words. I
but
would
under
ask her
Biden's
how.
day she did not?
It's the one
Do you
worded
want
question.
my
How?
wife to say it to you physically because you're too dumb to take and realize it?
I would
Did you
ask her
think
the
that
same
for
question I
once-
would ask you, dude, is how, right? We would get into the actual evidence on what makes people safer in Sweden, or what country is Sweden or Switzerland?
Oh yeah, let's
Yeah,
run.
what-
All right, so let's run with that.
Wait.
Actually, Atlas. So if to ask her directly if she's willing to share.
I
What
don't
is
want
it
to.
in the last?
I don't want to. I'm just pointing out that
I am curious. I'm curious.
She just shook her head no. She
If you
doesn't want nothing to do with you
That's
guys.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I didn't want to include her. I was just saying I was pointing out the logical fallacy of pointing out that when the sun is out and something bad happens, it isn't the sun's fault.
It's. I mean,
You know, for
there's
some people that have never traveled,
very
that they can insult people that have, or that
It's
come from
very
other countries.
possible
I'm
or
not
that-
insulting you. I
policies
pointed out
make
a
people
logical
feel
inconsistency,
unsafe.
and you're being offended.
No. You're too narrow viewed. You really
Okay.
got to get out more.
Yeah. 10
Definitely
years
need
out
to
of the country definitely wasn't enough.
Yeah.
No, you need to go to somewhere more dangerous. Once.
I promise. I have done exactly as you asked.
Why can't we?
Have you gone to
be
Iran? I think you should
friends?
go there.
Why can't we be friends?
Look, man,
Oh,
I'm
works.
chilling.
Shit.
I'm chilling, dude. I don't like this average debate viewer, dude. He pokes fun at me all the time, but he gives great stats, all the time. So, you know what I mean? I can disagree with somebody and like him at the same time.
Okay,
As
I'm
far as
not.
I'm
Stats
concerned,
we talking
Biden has
about.
destroyed the United States.
I'm asking you a
and
question.
and
real
I've
quick.
seen too much. Next to
So,
Carter,
I would-
he's the worst president I've ever seen to in my life.
If your wife is willing to tell you, just in summary, what has happened since Biden has been in office that she can recall that makes her feel uncomfortable enough that she wants to carry when she goes out?
That is
Because
an
I carry
excellent
when
question.
I go out.
Hold on a second. Hold on
I
a second.
carry,
Hold on a
so-
second. Hold on a second. Did you hear what their question was? Can you repeat the question?
What has happened in the current presidency that has caused you, that you can recall, to want to carry when you go out? As opposed, what is different as, before you felt okay, you felt safe, and now you feel like you need to carry when you go out. Can you give us
Hold on a second.
examples of things that make you feel that way?
All she's doing is waving her hands off. She doesn't want to talk. She's afraid of getting
Oh.
involved because she knows how heated it got with me. She
I
doesn't want to get involved with the conversation. She's just
Robert,
staring.
she's your spouse. Why don't you interpret what things has Biden done to make her her feel less comfortable? You can steel man this, dude. I believe in you.
Is there anything you can
What has Biden
remember
done?
that she's
What was the
Hold on a
question?
second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
What
Let's
has
wait.
Biden done to make Robert's wife specifically to feel less comfortable in Sweden, right?
No,
No,
America.
forget about Sweden. Sweden's a dead country. Back in hold on 1 second.
Well, that's what
I'm
was the
gonna mute-
original
like,
thing
I'm gonna
was.
mute
Y'all were
this so
changing
I can
targets.
talk to
I'll
you.
give one
I'm gonna
thing
mute this. Yeah, hold
as
on a
far as
second.
Americans, but
Go. So, but I asked him. So his
What do you
wife
got,
is
Dronetek?
uncomfortable now.
I mean,
and
he called.
I'm asking him what makes her uncomfortable. Sorry, go ahead.
I would say one thing he did is during his weird red wedding speech where he called a good chunk of the country semi-fascist. I think that's pretty threatening, especially combined with
They are.
the media
Well, I found that.
offensive of like, you know, the Republicans are literally a domestic terrorist organization and should be treated as such and that kind of stuff.
Okay, I talked to her. I
Do you
asked
think
her
that kind of
specifically-
rhetoric is
Hold on a
reprehensible?
second. Hold on a second.
From
I
the
asked her.
media, absolutely.
Do you think
Yes,
when
guys,
Trump does? Do you think when Trump does it, it's reprehensible?
One
When
second,
Trump
Robert.
does what?
When he uses vitriolic rhetoric to describe.
I think when he said the media was enemy of the people, he was dead freaking on. I think they
Okay,
are
so
the enemy
no,
of the people.
you don't see how you're kind of like lopsiding this argument here on your own personal biases.
I'll lopside it. I know it's not that cut and dry, but I'll go that way just for the sake of doing it.
Okay, I'll,
Can we
for
quickly
the
hear
audience, it's another
Robert's
W for
answer?
me.
All
Can
right,
we-
all right.
can we hear
I
Robert's
have an
answer?
answer to your question.
Sweet.
All right. So I asked her. And so it basically boils down to the fact being the media.
Wow.
I already
The
said that.
media. Yes, but I
Based
needed
on
to
what
hear it
she's
from her.
receiving from the media, she feels scared that she's going to be attacked based on what's on the media.
Negativity, constant
Blame
negativity.
the media.
That's what she said. She blames mass migration in the media.
Who here has watched V for Vendetta?
I
Yeah,
have.
everybody's
Super
seen
excellent
that.
movie. Everybody here, I think, is an anti government shill enough to love that movie, right? I totally agree.
Thanks,
Didn't like
Atlas.
the ending.
I
So
totally
this
agree.
is how
in that
democracy
moment when
dies. I love that part
when
of the
he
movie.
when he points out that it's everybody else's fault, it's your own fucking fault for feeling that way. It is.
Atlas,
when you
my
got
favorite
it-
part of that movie is where she's like, "This is how democracy dies."
That's Star Wars, weirdo.
I know, I'm joking.
Okay, guys. Hey, all right. So I'm gonna have to
I'm
roll.
retarded. I'm sorry.
So it's been fun screaming at everybody.
Thanks, Dank. You're awesome,
um,
dude.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go
Hey,
ahead
Dank,
and just
thanks,
like
buddy.
end on. Yeah.
I want to say something before you
I'm
go,
just
though.
gonna go ahead and end. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead
Yeah,
and
Ashley.
end on this. And then after you say something, I'll go ahead and go. But like my whole thing with this topic was that like the way that it was broached in the chat was that Bill Maher thinks it's great that white people are being replaced in London. And
Well,
the
in
more and
general.
more I thought about it, well, okay, but no, he didn't, because he was talking about London, and he
Well,
said that was a great thing.
Well,
So
I posted a
Drone
clip.
I'm trying to get out of here,
Okay,
dude.
good,
I've
good.
really got to go, dude.
Good.
So like his whole thing in both of those clips was that London was like 90% white and now it's like 30% white, which he got that completely fucking wrong, because in the chart that I could find, it shows as of 2 years ago, white people still were more than 50% of the population. But it's not just that. London is located in England. Last time I checked, England was an island. So of course, like, people are going to migrate into there. And like I don't know, man. I've got a lot of stuff on my mind right now, so I'm not even gonna
That's
go into
okay.
that right now. I don't know why
Can
I
I
started.
just tell you one thing, buddy?
Okay, so
All right.
yeah, go ahead, because I'm done.
I know you got to go. I just want to tell you congratulations.
England's not an island
and,
anymore. Go ahead.
I just want to tell you congratulations, and I wish your family the best, and thanks for being here, bud. I appreciate you being here as opposition.
Yeah, hey man, I'm doing my part to keep up the white race. So you know.
You make me.
All right.
Hey, thanks, man.
I gotta go
Seriously,
too.
though.
The white one
I do.
talk to
Congrats,
me on
man.
the side. So yeah, I'm about to be yelled at. So I will talk to you guys later. It's been fun. Sorry about yelling and screaming, but that was all part of the fun. So you guys all have a nice night.
All right.
Another day to another
Thanks
time.
for coming, Robert. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we should probably wrap this up. Honestly, I'm probably gonna bounce here pretty soon myself.
All right.
It's
See you
because
guys.
Steve came back, isn't it? Steve came back and we're like, all right, we got to go.
Oh no,
True.
it's not
He doesn't
that.
know
It's
the
just
password.
well, what time is it? 10:30. Man, I can keep going. I guess I did
10:30
drink.
on a Friday
I
night.
did drink a Monster Energy drink like 30 minutes ago, so I should probably just stay up. I can keep talking.
That'll
What do you
keep
guys
you
want
awake
to
for
talk
another
about?
20 minutes. Do you guys have anything on your minds yet?
I wanted to ask if there's anything else that you wanted to know about these policies in particular. Of course, you're going to get toxic leftist idiots
Well,
saying dumb shit, but like,
my
there's an actual good
concern.
argument.
Yeah, dude, I would tell you that most of my life, I mean, I consider myself a pretty liberal guy. Like I've always been like,
You are
you
liberal.
know, I can, you know, I don't hate anybody. I think like I said earlier, I like the idea of all the groups working together as earthlings, you know, towards a common goal, out to space, explore, you know, I like that whole idea. But that's sort of a romantic idea almost, I feel like, and the reality is different. And I feel like, you know, it's sometimes hard to do that because it's so easy to be like, oh, you're a racist. And I don't think people, their inclinations are necessarily racist when they ask these questions. I think they're just genuinely concerned that what we've built up could be erased.
Sure, but you know, there's proper measures for that. We just bring people in at the right number of amounts. You could make it more algorithmic. You could base it on like job openings. Right now in the United States, we have what 9 million open jobs. A lot of people retired for COVID and just never came back to the workforce, like people that were 50. There's a
Right.
lot of jobs open right now. We could use more immigration, to be completely honest.
Well, all the legal immigration we can get, I'm fine with that. It's just people, you know, people have a problem, and this has been the same thing for 25 years or more. I don't at this point, you know, I don't even know, but it's just this flow across the southern border. It's just combined with what the Democrats are very openly have been talking about for 20 years. You know,
How do you know it's an actual problem as compared to a problem that's been told to you by the media, right? You
Well,
already said that the media
it's
is
a problem. I just explained why it's a
right? But
problem to
but you
me.
agree with the
I just
agree
told
with
you why it's
the
a problem to
fear-mongering.
me, Atlas, because the
No.
Democrats have been very open about their scheme to use this illegal immigration to turn red states blue and get a permanent majority.
That is a problem for conservative Americans specifically. I'm asking for like what are the economic harms that are happening to America by admitting these people into like I guess that's what I'm looking for. I look for
Were you here when
economic.
Steve answered that?
I was not. Full disclosure, I was not. So he may have, and if he did, I apologize. You can private message me. You can say shut up, because I know I'm late.
No, I know he just had a really good point because he works in the building industry and he's getting.
Sure, I'll hear it again if he's willing. Sure. What was his answer? Steve, you there?
Oh, well, yeah, my answer at the time was I'm still in the building trades, different now though, but when I was a subcontractor, and I did everything by the books and paid people fair wages and had liability as well as workman's comp insurance. When you go in and make a fair price, a bid on something, and somebody undercuts you because they're using illegal labor and paying them $10 an hour and not giving them shit for health insurance or anything else, then it completely fucks up the whole process of bidding and jobs and quality. And it undermines the entire industry. Complete horseshit, man. Very common, by the way, in construction.
What would you say if I were to say that my solution to that would be to have the employers enforce like an I-9 policy, or at least get like a sort of immigration policy with it? Now that would be holding a standard to every company in America. I get that, but what would you say to that?
Yeah, you have to do it because I can't run a business illegally. So the guys who can, I don't know how they're doing it. They're breaking the law, but there's nobody out there policing it. So they have to fix that shit, dude. You know, if they're gonna make laws, they have to fucking make it so everybody follows them. It shouldn't be that way. These fucking illegals shouldn't be working if they're not legal. That's, you know, hello.
I would say there's a problem with legal immigration in the same way. If you did do a pathway to citizenship and gave all those illegal workers a way to be citizens, but also get the same rights and benefits and pay the same taxes, then those places wouldn't be able to outbid you anymore. The problem is if we bring in people based on a family system or a lottery system, we're not directly lining up the economy with the job skills that we need. It creates a structural issue, and you get structural unemployment, which is the specific type of unemployment you see when the job labor market doesn't match up with the skills needed by the economy. I think that we should reform our immigration system to more be dependent on what jobs need to be filled. As a programmer, I work in H-1B visas, and Indians taking over really cheap programming jobs has been screwing me over a bit. So where programming is needed, like maybe bring those people in, but we were at a point where there wasn't a lot of programming jobs during COVID. A lot of people worked remotely, and they were still bringing in these visas. So I would like to see legal immigration reformed a bit to meet skill demands in the market and not just bring people in blindly.
I guess Dronetek, the reason why people point out the racism part is because, and none of this part of the conversation does any of this really talk about race. We're talking about jobs, we're talking about I-9 forms, we're talking about legal change, and I'm still wondering where the melanin account comes in.
Well, you asked me that, but it's not.
You put it in the freaking title, dude.
Right,
I didn't do that.
I'm operating under the standards they set.
And
the
you,
whole end whiteness, the whole end whiteness, the whole like white people. As white people become a minority, we've progressed. I'm not the one saying that. They're the ones saying that.
You passing the message on like telephone includes you in the chain of the problem.
Atlas, I like you, but fuck off with that shit. Like I'm
honestly, I'm holding you to a higher standard. My bad.
No, holding me to a higher standard. I'm operating in the world that I live in. Like, what do you want me to do?
In this room, and we can just be beyond like the whiteness. None of this has to.
Why are you playing stupid? Why are you acting like that's not like the world we're living in?
I don't think
you really don't think there's any like negativity towards white people in this country or in the Western world.
I think there is a negativity towards white people. I don't think it has anything to. I don't think.
What? You don't think?
I do think there is negativity towards white people.
Well, that's what I'm
right. But I do not consider
is ending whiteness not a priority
issue. It is not.
Of
it
the
is not
mainstream
a worldwide
left?
issue. Say again?
Is ending quote whiteness not a priority of the mainstream left?
No, not mainstream. When you say mainstream, I say no.
It's okay. Well, do you consider universities mainstream?
I consider students from universities fringe.
Okay. Well. Okay, well, the professors fringe also.
Professors from universities fringe sometimes.
Okay,
maybe
right.
if a university.
Those are the people. They're literally teaching the people. Those professors are teaching the people that are going to lead the world, the country.
Like a school curriculum would be pretty. Is like the most furthest I would go.
All you're doing is proving that universities are pumping out extremists.
Dude, your example earlier was a taken down Smithsonian picture, dude. Come on.
Okay, yeah. Why did it get taken down? You think it's maybe because people like
me? But it got taken down, right?
Because people like me raised the fuss about it.
You keep the problem alive because you like the virtue signaling problem.
We're not.
Later.
No, we're just people who have standards. We're trying to hold.
I consider the problem solved when it got written down, but you want to keep it up.
What?
I consider the problem solved. I consider the problem solved when somebody in that Smithsonian said, "Hey, we should probably take that down," and when it was taken down, we should have never talked about it again.
So you think that poster?
People like
let me ask you,
love talking about this online.
Since you're such a brilliant mind, you think that you think that poster? Stop. You think that poster just manifested? It just manifested into reality in a void.
And I'm saying no. I'm not saying it manifested in a void. I'm not saying.
Or maybe there is a lot of people who think those things. To the point they felt comfortable throwing that out into the mainstream.
I put down the evidence you put forth. I'm saying these are the points. There was a weird sign that was made by somebody who had a white problem, right? It got put up in the Smithsonian.
Let me find the group. I want to tell you the groups.
Somebody complained, and then it was taken down, right? And then my part in this would be like, oh, cool, it's over, because the sign was taken down. But you want to go back and no, it was put up once, and so we're gonna talk about it forever as if it's still up.
So you can't question why that even came about in the first place?
No, I don't. I just don't think it's productive. I don't think it's productive, dude. Is what I'm pointing out. What I'm pointing out is I don't think it's productive.
I just real quick. Tyler, real quick. I just want to say it was that poster he's talking about came from the Smithsonian and the Institute or the National Museum of African American History. That's where that came from.
You don't stop taking the antibiotic until the doctor tells you to stop, not when the symptoms go. There's still all sorts of pushes all around university and in different schools of academia that are still pushing for the exact same thing. There are still anecdotal schools that teach that whiteness is a deal with the devil. It is existing. It's not the mainstream.
Thank you. I think
Not
I
the
think
mainstream.
from my point
Like,
is not the mainstream.
I disagree. I mean, those are the institutions teaching, like the whole diversity, equity, and inclusion cult. That's coming from the universities. I just don't know any other way to say it. Like, those are the people leading our society.
I find it surprising that you would find this such a critical issue, and that's what I'm saying. Is I don't think
that's why I think it's a
so.
critical issue, because
Well,
racism.
I think you're wasting
all
your time.
I'm told is that
around you.
racism is the most persistent threat out there, and yet I see clear racism that is being treated as though it's not racism.
Let me ask you, how many people?
So that's an issue to me. That's an issue I feel like I have to talk about.
I didn't hear Tyler.
What percent of these people that are coming out of these universities do you think come out with this woke agenda?
With a woke agenda?
Yeah,
That's
like
a good
what
question. I think
It's a pretty
How would you know-
vague
how would
question.
you know that answer?
Yes, how would you know? How would I even
How-
know?
well,
and then the ideology might even taper off after time. You know what I mean?
Well, look
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. Look at all the people who've been preaching about anti-Semitism being such a persistent
That's what I'm saying.
threat on the right, but yet now
People's
it's the left.
ideologies after college fade so fast.
Does it?
Right? And that's
Does it?
Yes.
Are you sure
People
about
are
that?
fickle. Humans are fickle.
Evidently,
humans.
Mr. Ringo's
But
an
the
educated
majority-
man.
The majority of people in that age group still support Israel.
Right. Then they get
So-
out of the age group and they change it. They
Yeah,
change their idea.
As they grow up, they as people grow up, they grow more conservative because their brain starts working. So
Not me though. I'm crazy.
You'll get there eventually.
I'm
But
crazy.
We're told by the president, the press secretary, the media that white supremacy is this huge major threat. And yet the institutions, our own institutions, are pumping out hordes of these people who are out there literally fighting Jews now, beating up Jews, killing Jews by hitting them on the heads with megaphones. And it's not like, explain to me how this is not. So that just happened the other day, and it's not a Charlottesville event. Like, where are the endless media coverage that we're going to hear for the next few years? Oh, it doesn't exist because
I don't think the media is the solution. I think the people, like, when people say, like, I have this fear that I'm going to go get mugged in a foreign country. Why do I feel like that? Because the media told me that way. That doesn't actually mean that you're going to get mugged in a foreign country. Right, and you're participating in some sort of like a fallacy where you're exploiting it. But what you're doing is you're selecting certain parts of shit, right, in one area or another, and you're perpetuating it, and then we're enjoying
I'm
it.
not perpetuating it.
We are
trying to discredit
right
it.
now.
That's my whole thing.
No, I feel like it was discredited when it was taken down, and then bringing it up again
I'm
adds
just
more
saying
credit
that
to a
is
taken down flyer.
Like, what do you expect me to do?
Can you
Like,
guys? Can you pause?
I expect you to have a higher
pause-
standard.
That's
pause
a
your thoughts. We have
persistent
a issue.
message coming out.
We
RW,
have a
what are you saying?
latency issue. We have a latency issue on
I
YouTube
apologize.
drone.
I apologize.
Do we?
Smoke Steve's flagging it. He's saying people on YouTube are like when we're talking, it's not equaling out, and it's not. So
I'm
I don't know
looking.
if you can
I
tell
will-
on
I
your
will- I will
end
wait.
what you got to do.
What do you, just refresh. Tell them to refresh.
Turn off and back
Yeah,
on
I mean,
again.
Smoke Steve's giving you the wobble there. I don't know.
Just power cycle it. Just seriously, just hit refresh. It'll work fine. I just tried it.
Sure.
It works fine.
Jordan, you ever listen to James Lindsay?
Of course, I love James Lindsay, man. He's, yeah, I like him. Yeah, I'm with
He
him.
does a service in terms of what he does to break that shit down, but he is extremely biased, and that dude sees communism in everything.
No, but
It's
he's not.
really-
Is he wrong though? Like, because
No,
I'm with him. I've seen. It's funny because I saw all the same things that he's seeing, and then I came on to him. So like that, it's not like he's telling me.
Ew.
Like I totally saw
Right.
these things.
Quit coming on to dudes, first of all. Second, no,
Okay.
I listen to him too. I listen to a ton of his shit. He does a service in a way by getting all this stuff, aggregating it, breaking it down. But he just everything is a nail in
Well,
his
no.
view.
Do you think he's wrong about these like connections to Marxism and the
No,
Red
no, no, no.
Revolution and all these things?
He's not. He's just wrong about how prominent it is in our school system.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Like it's everywhere,
yeah.
dude. The
It's
DEI, the DEI trainings and all that. Of course, it's everywhere. Like it's perfect.
lot of
Look
these
at Disney.
corporations-
Look how prominent it is in like Disney.
I was
Like,
just gonna go to that. I was just gonna go to corporations. These
Yeah.
people are doing what they think is like, this is the youth. This is the people they need to get to come spend money at their park. They need to get young people. They need to get them young so they come in with their families and spend money there in 5 years. They need to appeal to these groups. Disney doesn't give a fuck about diversity, equity, inclusion. Neither does Coca-Cola. Neither does any of these companies that hired on, what's her name? The curly-haired lady.
They do though, because there's several articles out there. I'll find them here, but about how
I believe
companies.
Annie.
I'll grab them, but it's about how companies have really gone full on into this to the point where like white people have become undesirable hires. Like it's gotten bad, and companies actually DEI is dying. You know why? Because all these companies are getting sued because they're getting sued for racial discrimination. That's what's happening.
I notice you don't bring up like specific stories about white people being brought up. They will get discriminated, and then they take their company to court, and then they get winnings, and they find that that's actually like under the law, right? It seems that these white people, when they get fired because of their race or whatever, they actually like, I know of one case from Starbucks that she actually got money out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
there have been.
Okay, so again, what I'm saying is, what is the problem? It seems like the problem's been fixed again.
The fact that it's happening at all.
Oh, okay.
The fact that it's even occurring. Here, I'll tell you why. Because it's like, wait, I thought we already knew this was wrong. Why are we doing it then? That's my problem. It's like, it should be obvious. It was obvious to me. It was obvious to all of us that it was wrong, and yet it happened. So why
are you
is it
old
happening?
enough to remember the Pain Olympics?
I'm 43, so yes.
Okay, do you remember the Pain Olympics, right?
Is that MXC?
Maybe. It's an old, really bad video. No one should ever watch. Okay, but people would download it on LimeWire. People would download it on LimeWire, the virus-infested film thing. Right. And okay, but you subject yourself to watching the Pain Olympics, right? You went to go find that. You went to go click it. Okay, so but just because you went and found that does not mean there's an epidemic of people cutting their genitalia off online.
Right, but we're
you know what I mean?
about fringe internet weird things, not mainstream college institutions,
okay, well, I'm
corporations,
saying fringe,
the media, the government. There's a big difference there.
Well, I agree with Tyler that it's fringe. So.
It's
and
not fringe.
Tyler hates
by what definition is it fringe? It's being taught in school.
Hates me and he agrees with me.
What are you talking about?
I just think you need to chill out a bit.
No.
I will never chill.
Fringe? No, I'm going crazy too.
Don't stop it.
Calling it fringe is insane.
I agree with your buddy.
This is kind of the argument I had with Rob Noir when he fucking had a full meltdown on me last week. He was saying the mainstream position of the Democrats on abortion is 9 months, no restrictions at all. And
that's true.
You can interpret a couple of different legislation as that if you interpret it that way. But no, the mainstream Democrat voter is not in favor of that.
When the mainstream Democrat voter is asked if there should be restrictions on abortion, they always say no.
No, most
but no, they don't. But then they act like
there are polls. I've seen the polls. Okay,
but there's like vague polls. Then you can add. Then you add more nuance to the poll. No, I'm not seeing your poll.
Like 72% of the U.S. is cool with 15 to 20.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I've seen the polls that show that basically abortion, the majority only support it in the early terms. But yeah.
It's just young people. It's just progressive. It's people trying to take an issue and drive it forward because what else? That's their job is to progress.
Right, but look what happened here in Ohio. They just passed issue 1, which basically there's no restrictions.
Hey.
Ron DeSantis
and we just passed weed, so I can go to the store and buy weed soon.
I'm about to fact check you right now. I'm going to look over the new Ohio law right now.
Ron DeSantis just
issue
talked
1.
About that
Yeah, issue 1.
He brought it up in the last debate. The Republicans are losing these ballot initiatives because of bad governance within the state. Ohio's Republican Party should have had a counter amendment to the Constitution ready to go for them to vote for as well.
The Republican Party is it's dead as far as I'm concerned. Like it's not a party anymore. I don't know.
No, because Mike Lindell is going to fix that shit with his device that's going to see if all the ballots are online.
And the cyber ninjas, dude, and the cyber ninjas.
Hey, Dronetek. Drone.
Yeah, the cyber monks. I'm more interested in the cyber monks. Good.
There's a reason why the Pain Olympics wasn't featured on Live Leak, because Hayden knew it was fake as shit, dude.
Oh, really?
Well-known fake.
Nice.
The videos on are fake. They're definitely. I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. I just
Atlas, do you know
remember
who you're
when
talking to
there's a
here? The
video.
Lively crew.
I'm not sure. I don't know who I'm talking
Dude,
to. The truth is.
He's
Well, I'm
OG.
If you want to
I'm
talk about the Pain
describing-
Olympics, we could. Dronetek has the Pain Olympics.
I don't even
Times
know if I'm describing the
1 million,
right thing because it was
fucking
forever ago.
dude.
What my point was, going back in
Fucking
time, you
Pain Olympics.
you would go and look up. You could go and look up horrible videos of Al Qaeda beheadings and stuff like
Right,
that, and then you
right.
could later cry about how, oh, I saw this awful thing, but you went and you looked that up.
I would never
You know what I
cry
mean?
about seeing that. Yeah,
No,
you're
I would not do
fucking
that.
Now, so you're doing that now is what you're going around, you're
Well-
finding statistics that you don't like that offend you, and then you're coming out and you're bringing them around and you're having a
You know,
an
no,
offended
you know what
party.
you're doing. You're
You-
doing what, and
you
I
do
don't
watch The
want to
View.
accuse you of being a leftist, because I really don't know, but like you're
You
doing
really
what
don't.
a lot of people on that side do is like you're trying to like punish me for noticing what's happening.
I'm punishing you. Kind of only half notice, right? Like you kind of what we talked about earlier. You said that it was this thing that is in the Smithsonian, but it's not in the Smithsonian. It was right. It was taken down.
Right,
There are all
but
these little factoids that you like to
why-
omit out of these details
Okay.
that are really kind of important to the overall story, and I just don't like that.
So okay, well, it's just like one of those things where it's like my normal self might just
narrative to
dismiss.
build.
No,
I get
listen,
it.
my normal self might just like dismiss that, but I'm in this world where like I understand the standards that like the other opposing side sets, and so I'm going to hold them to those standards, and so I have to know how a document like that could come to being in the first place. Right? Like you're not at all interested in that. You are more than willing to be like, Psh, it's gone. But like,
Because I believe in the
let's say the
institutions around
Smithsonian
us
put
that
out an
keep us separated from the rest of the
let's
heathens
say-
out of the wall.
no, look, let's say the Smithsonian put out the same document, right? But with some sort of like white Christian group, and instead of being tenets of the exact same document, don't change anything about it, and instead it's the Smithsonian and the white Christian family group or something. I don't know. All right, now look at that document, and how does it look?
Is it still taken down after?
Sure,
like someone
sure.
notices?
But do you
Well, I still don't
think?
care.
But do you think the Smithsonian could survive that?
Was it still no? In this scenario, was it still taken down after somebody?
It was
pointed
still
something
taken
out?
down, but
Okay,
like,
well, then I still don't care.
okay,
Do you see my point? Do you see what I'm saying?
no,
Or do you
no,
not?
because I don't think it would be just
Okay,
let go.
well,
I don't
I-
think it would be let go like that.
Okay, you
Because that
You
would
don't
be
think it'd be let go?
serious. That's like that document reads like it was written by the Ku Klux Klan. Honestly, like when I read it, I was like, "What the?" Like they're basically saying that like these things that like most like mature people, adults do. These
don't
are
aspire
tenets of
maliciousness
white
like
people.
you.
These are tenets of the white culture. I thought it was insane when I first saw it. I'm like, what? Like this is what I would expect the Klan to say about white people. You know what I mean?
and then someone made a comment, and then it was taken down.
No, it wasn't that simple. It actually took a little while. It took quite a while, and it took an uproar by folks
all
like
those all the white people that saw it, and were just they saw this
okay,
this
whatever.
this propaganda.
Like, we can
They're
we
all-
can move on.
They
from
should
this.
all be
It's-
given a. They
this
should all be
is-
given a check.
whatever. This stupid.
Hold on.
We're hung up on
Atlas,
this.
real
but-
quick. If Donald
Go
Trump
ahead,
put
dude.
up on Twitter the N word 40 times, and then someone said this is offensive and he took it down, would you think people would just be like, oh, well, he took it down, it's cool?
Well,
Oh, if it was
Twitter?
42 times.
well,
I
it's
guess
kind of
it'd be
crazy.
okay.
Like we still hear that Trump
Well,
never.
I didn't get into your question. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would say your scenario is a little different. I would not blame Twitter for being on there. Is what you know what I'm saying? Like what Dronetek's doing here is blaming the Smithsonian as if the Smithsonian, and he's using the integrity of the Smithsonian to try to push this sort of idea that even the Smithsonian agrees with this white problem, right? And I don't agree with that characterization. And I would, be mad about Donald Trump for
Well, they
saying the
do.
N-word 42 times.
You know.
Okay, well,
Clearly.
they don't because they took it down, right? Clearly.
Because, from pressure, but like obviously they believed it. You really think?
I
You
just
really
don't
think?
ascribe the
You really think
maliciousness like you
suddenly
do.
all the
I just
people
don't do
who
that.
you really think all the people in those two organizations suddenly don't believe that just because they took it down?
I don't.
I guess my
what works
question is,
around
do
me
they
is
have
I
to
just don't
endorse
agree.
it in the first place to put it up? If they
Right,
have to give their stamp of approval to put it up, then they are saying, yes, this is okay.
and then they
But
can
what,
then
but
they
what if it
recall
was just a page? You know, what if it was just something, you know, is on a promotional, you know what I mean? Like they have a program where they go around to a bunch of like museums and stuff and say, hey, we want to give you some ad space or whatever, and you guys come over and you do this. And then sometimes some people submit some really stupid stuff, and then they get
Can I
sick of it.
read you something? This is something that's up right now at the Smithsonian at the
Well,
at the
let's see.
National
This
Museum.
This is
Listen.
way more interesting. This is way
Listen.
more interesting. Go ahead.
So this is up right now. The National Museum of African American History and Culture. Whiteness. At the National Museum of African American History and Culture, we believe that any productive conversation on race must start with honesty, respect for others. But this whole it says whiteness. It's got like this. Hold on, let me show.
I'm still waiting for you to read it.
Hold on.
Why don't you read the whole thing rather than try to like?
No, I will. I just want to show the stream. Look at this. Respect
He's
for others.
translating it.
Where is it on YouTube?
And,
It's on
and
the tube.
openness. Hold on, I'll put the link.
Yeah. Show this shit. Let's go.
Let's see it.
I'm watching the stream on the side, so I'll watch it there.
Whiteness.
You do that. There it is.
Whiteness.
It's in the back.
Whiteness.
It's in the
I
back.
see many shades of gray in that thumbnail.
Whiteness
Back
and white
that.
radicalized identity. Whiteness and is there any other like? Okay, whiteness and white radicalized identity. So if you have any kind of white identity,
You can't
that
get
is-
past 4 words. Can you read the paragraph?
refer to the way that white people, their customs, their culture, and their beliefs operate as the standard by which all other groups are compared. And so this mixes right in with that document.
We got one
Okay?
sentence.
No. Well, I just posted the whiteness is
I'm reading
also
along
at
with
the
you.
core of understanding race in America. Whiteness and the normalization of white racial identity throughout America's history have created a culture where non-white persons are seen as inferior and abnormal, which I find ironic because this entire thing treats white people as if they
No, they
are
don't. I haven't seen that yet in
inferior
this
and abnormal.
You barely read the first paragraph. I want to keep going.
Oh, hold on.
The
Yeah,
white
it's
dominant
very-
culture also operates as a social mechanism that
But
grants
let's-
advantages to white people. So it's a conspiracy where it's a system where we white people, we get special benefits on the side.
Do I get a pause?
It's like
I want to pause right here since
No.
you
Well-
got so many pauses. Can I get one?
Let's skip down to one more sentence. Whiteness and accepted normality also exists as everyday microaggressions towards people of color. Acts of microaggressions include verbal, nonverbal, environmental slights, snubs, or insults towards non-whites. Like we insult people. Come
Can you
on.
imagine white people talking about non-white people this way? It's so insane.
You guys
It's
can't
so
read.
insane
There's
and
a period there
paranoid.
that you guys are ignoring. You guys realize that, right?
What?
Whiteness and its accepted normality also exists as everyday microaggressions towards people of color. Acts of microaggressions include verbal. So it's giving a description of what microaggressions are afterwards. Now, let me ask my
So,
question earlier.
All those
Right, let me-
things are just white people existing
if I
around
was
them.
if I was looking because I'm in the Smithsonian, right? We're in a history museum. Okay, so if I'm in the history museum and I go to a segment where we talk about how like certain black individuals from history were not allowed in certain white areas from history, right? Do you think it's important that the museum provides proper context so people can understand what that means in the historical context?
This has nothing. This is talking about present time.
No, it is
Yeah,
not. The National Museum of African American History and Culture. History being the key word here, buddy.
But they're talking about whiteness and white fragility and confronting whiteness today.
Right, but do you not think that it'd be important for a museum that discusses historical?
What I
Okay,
think would be important
so-
for a
so
museum
what you
is
want-
not to
so
be
what
racist.
you want? Hold on. You're totally not listening to me. So
Those
what
are
you
all
want
racist.
is a
Those are all
picture
racist
on the
things.
wall. You want a picture on the wall that has like the whites only and you know the black and the colored bathrooms or whatever. It has it describes all this, but it doesn't actually tell you anything about it. It just
tell you
shows
about
pictures about it. No, they can't apparently because this article right here is describing what those people mean when in historical context when we talk about white, right? What do you mean by white? Right, when they say whites only, right, in the 1950s, 1960s, right, what does that mean? And you
No,
guys,
it's talking about current. This is current.
Yeah, could you tell me how?
This is not about history. This is just.
You are
whiteness.
in
They're
for
describing
Smithsonian
current white people.
Everything is history.
No,
This whole topic is
you're
about
just
history.
stretching to try and.
No, I'm not stretching. I am
are.
granting what's called charitability. And if you're a real
Okay, let me
Christian,
ask you this.
you understand
Let me ask you
charitability.
this. Let me ask you this. When you make an assumption and a broad generalization about a whole
I'm
group
not
of
making an
people-
assumption.
Stop. When you do that about a whole group of people based on their skin color, is that racism?
Yes.
Okay, that's what they're doing. In this
How are they?
entire thing.
Show me where they're doing that. Show
So
me
when
where
they
they're
talk
doing
about
that.
white fragility,
when they're
you-
talking about it,
no, they literally they reference white fragility and white privilege. These are both white privilege. I got it up right now. White privilege, since white people in America hold most of the political, institutional, and economic power, although they provide no evidence or measure for this, they receive advantages that non-white groups do not. Again, they provide no evidence. These benefits and advantages of varying degrees are known as white privilege. Okay, so stop.
My first one I don't like. Facing your whiteness is hard. I don't like that sentence.
Stop.
I'm agreeing with you, psychopath. Shut up.
Listen to you.
I'm
So
agreeing
this
with
is
you.
a broad generalization.
I'm
This is
agreeing
a
with you.
broad
You can't-
generalization
you're
and
not listening right
assigning
now.
traits
You're not listening right
based
now.
on skin color. That's
You're
racism.
not listening to words out of my mouth right now. What did I just say?
Go ahead.
What did I
Sorry.
just say?
Go ahead.
What did I say? You're not listening to me. What did I say?
You didn't listen to me. Go
I
ahead.
heard you. You said facing your whiteness is hard. You don't agree with that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Right. I don't facing my whiteness. I just am who I am. I don't face
You're
who
not
I
paying attention
am.
to
I
the-
just
there are
am.
people in this room that are.
I'm not gonna face who I am critically as though there's something wrong with who I am, who I was born as. Are you
I've already
kidding me?
put-
Why would I do
There's
that?
one paragraph, okay? What are you talking about?
Black people. You need to
Confront
face who
the
you are
whiteness
as
paragraph,
bad
I would
black
delete.
people.
Is that fair? Is that fair that you and I should petition the Smithsonian to take this paragraph down? Do you want to do that with me?
Listen.
Confronting whiteness. If
That-
you identify as white, acknowledge your white racial identity and its privileges is a crucial step to ending racism.
Facing your
people.
whiteness
You
is
need to
hard
be-
is a little weird sentence. I would not
Facing
say
your
that.
whiteness is hard and can result in feeling guilt, sadness, confusion, defensiveness, or fear. Robin
True.
These are the normal reactions to racism.
Yeah. Robert D'Angelo coined the term white fragility to describe the feelings of as a state in which even a minimal amount of racial stress can become intolerable,
Is that fair? Is that
triggering
fair that we,
a range of defensive moods. Since white people live in a social environment that insulates them from race-based stress.
It's so stupid. I work with people that are non-white. All I deal with is mostly non-white people in a professional
but I think
manner.
we
And
know what this is talking
and
about, though, right?
like this whole thing that they've created doesn't exist. I meet these guys, I shake their hands. Now they're my brothers. We eat meals together. It's fucking foolish. Who thinks this? These people making up these rules, it's almost like they've never spent any time with minorities, because if you live like a normal fucking person, it's just everyday
Hell
life,
yes.
man.
Exactly.
What the fuck,
Steve is
dude?
100% right there.
White fragility does exist. Okay. Well, I may not
100%
put
right.
put this on the Smithsonian front page, right? White fragility definitely does exist. Okay. When calling somebody racist definitely does trigger a certain amount of, because white people feel like we've gotten better over that, as if we are immune to such a criticism. But
Why
we
do you
are absolutely
attach
not.
a normal human reaction to a skin color? You're saying a normal human reaction to being generalized
Because
based on their skin color. You're saying that that is special. The way white people react to that is somehow special.
White people. It's pointing out a specific phenomenon among white people, and particularly here in
No,
America.
no, that's how any person would react. But when a white person reacts
No,
to the
some
exact
people-
same
some
thing,
people don't
you
react that
call
way.
it white fragility.
No, some people don't react that way. This is-
Bullshit.
this-
In the Smithsonian's front page.
No. I you can go back to what I said. I may not have this in the Smithsonian front page, right? I don't agree that this should be on the Smithsonian, but white fragility definitely is a real thing.
Do you disagree that they are not? Do you disagree that they're considered a highly respected mainstream institution?
The Smithsonian?
Yeah.
It is a institution.
It is a
widely
highly respected. Yes, it is. We all
widely
know
respect-
it.
like,
Come on.
I may say that I may go to school and may say that, like, I got a piece in the Smithsonian, or I have a presentation in the Smithsonian, and that might be prestigious, okay? But as far as like what real like power does the Smithsonian have? I don't recognize that. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, let me tell you. The Smithsonian, or simply Smithsonian, is a group of museums, education, and research centers, the largest such complex in the world, created by the U.S. government for the increase of diffusion of knowledge. Oh yeah, it's nothing.
I didn't say it was nothing. I didn't say it was. Did I say it was nothing? Were those my words?
You dismissed it as
you said I was
anything
nothing.
relevant.
I said I acknowledged it was prestigious in an educational format. Did I not say that? Yes or no?
You did.
Okay. Well,
And they're awesome. They have like President Lincoln's coat that he was wearing when he got shot. They have the Wright brothers plane. They have the Hope Diamond. They have lots of cool shit. They have lots of cool shit to go and see.
Dinosaur.
Besides this little microcosm that we're talking about, there is some really cool shit there.
But that's my point. That's my
Meteors.
point. Is we can find microcosms of anything, right? Like I don't feel like this is I may not like this, right? But I don't feel. But that's not my call to make. You know what I mean? Maybe that's essential for this page, right? Someone may want to explain that. But for me, this whole page kind of reads as when someone says, if I look into history and I see white, what does that mean? And then this page might help me understand that.
Aren't you white?
I am white, yes.
Well, I mean, don't you already know? I mean, you need the page,
Are
or
white people the same?
well,
Are
I
all
mean,
white people aware of their privileges? Are all white people, you know what I mean? White people are not a monolith in the same way that black people are not a monolith. I just think sometimes educate, and as we already talked about, it is one of the largest educational formats in the world. So I figure that they should help educate people on a specific topic. And when we go looking for specifically African American history and culture, and when we look for a definition of white, we might find something like this. And I don't see anything surprising or offensive to all white people.
This is a clear political stance for far left policies. I'm now on the.
I don't think so.
If you scroll to the resources and start looking through the resources, that's where I'm making this claim from. So I see an article attacking color blindness. I see power plus privilege equaling racism definition. The Abram X. Kendi.
You're reading the title. Let's see this.
Yeah. Community disruption to belong, teaching diversity and social justice. The handheld being an anti-racist racial healing book. Things like these are far left point.
When you said children are colorblind, what did you think you meant?
Tyler, welcome.
What did you mean?
Welcome. Come on over, Tyler. Come on.
When you said when you made the comment about the colorblind, right? When you were reading the title, what do you think the article meant about colorblind?
I mean, colorblindness means the liberal principle of individualism. It's a way to
Right. Okay.
So these are anti-liberal, progressive talking points that go against the neutral nature that these institutions are supposed to have. And this kind of does go to Dronetek's point about institutional capture in a handful of institutions by this ideological movement. I'm not saying it's good. I'm wholly with them that it's bad. I'm just saying it's not as widespread as he professes.
And I'm reading the material, and the material is not nearly as bad as even what you're making it. The article that is talking about children and colorblindness, right? It's talking about how children do segregate themselves by race, and they do make comments about race. And there is a commentary, apparently, that this article is rebutting that children don't see race. That there's like that racism is a learned trait that is not known to children, and it just says no. That children also have to receive some sort of social learning.
Four ways white people can process their emotions without bringing white tears.
Yeah, I hate the way they talk about white. They talk about it's so like Nazi-esque. It's so like they talk about us like we're aliens or something. And just the way the media portrays us in commercials, like we're always the idiot, we're always the obnoxious or the evil. It's increasing. And I'm not like trying to like bring about some sort of like white identity revival or anything. I'm just saying that like there's clearly something happening here and we should like nip it in the bud. But too many people are like, they think it's virtuous to ignore it and like just dismiss it as nothing.
Here's one about colorblindness for you. When you say you don't see race, you're ignoring racism and not helping to solve it. From The Guardian.
Yeah. These are like, so I guess my problem I'm having here is we're all getting great snippets and great points about things that may sound or may indicate really, some edgy opinions out there, and yet I still don't see any real problems to society. Other than like the biggest problem in my head to society is named Donald J. Trump right now, right?
Well,
running
look,
for president.
when I show you the Smithsonian example, I'm just trying to show you that it does, and then you have like the that what was the university where the professor was kicked out a couple years back when they had the no whites
Evergreen.
day.
Evergreen.
Evergreen, and he's I can't believe I can't remember his name. I've been following him ever since. But Weinstein, yes, thank you. And there's tons of examples, like even before that you probably don't know about. Like there was a bunch of several years there. There's a channel, if you look it up, it's called Laughing at the Left. I want to say it's on YouTube. It's a dead channel now. But are laughing at liberals. It's laughing at liberals. And they went to universities for a couple of years there where they were having end whiteness events. And they go to these events and they walk in and they get kicked out because they're white. Like, look it up on YouTube. It's called Laughing at Liberals. I'm pretty sure it's still around. But that was going on years ago. Like that stuff is going on and it's gotten worse.
Weinstein got a big payout. So did, as Atlas was saying earlier, a lot of these people this happens to, they're getting huge payouts now. I went and Googled it after that conversation. I found an article of a guy that got fired because they just wanted to replace him with a diverse hire. They hired 2 women, 1 black woman, 1 lesbian, to do his job. He sued and said that they literally caused the company more money to hire 2 employees to do his job. He ended up getting millions of dollars. People are winning these lawsuits. That shit will go away with time.
Right. I hope so. I encourage it. If you're a white person out there and they are discriminating against you, you should sue the shit out of them, because just because they call it, diversity, equity, inclusion, and progress, if they're discriminating against you based on your skin color, that's illegal. That's as clear cut as it is.
Right,
And
but historically speaking, people who suffered the same sort of oppressions, right, did not get legal
and that was bad. No reason to continue that bad.
Who hasn't gotten their legal comeuppance though?
Me,
Hey
I haven't got mine.
I think we should probably start
signing out of here.
Yeah, let's wrap this
Yeah,
up. Real
I gotta go. I just want to give a lot of respect to everybody that came and took the time to come out tonight and help the conversation be more than it would have been if it was just me and Dronetek in here playing chess or something. And on my outro, my conclusion for the night.
Nice.
That's true. So
That was awesome.
Again, have a good night, everyone.
See you, man.
Hey, thanks. I also want to say thank you to all of you. I encourage everybody of all points of view to come here and join us, because I love if I'm wrong, I want you to convince me of it. I want to know that I am wrong and I want to change my mind. So thank you to everybody. And Steve, you can go next.
Thank you for being here. Drone, do you mind if I mention my thing tomorrow night?
Oh yeah, exactly. Go for it.
Yeah, I have a live pub show that I host on Saturdays, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on my YouTube channel. And it's more lively here. Over there, we get a little wasted and talk shit, but it's pretty mellow. So
it's awesome.
It's cool. I appreciate that, bro. But I have a great time here, and this is the shit. This is the best place to be.
And dude, I'm so happy you come here. And yeah, you guys should all go check out that stream. I will put the link in the description of this stream so you can get it later.
Thank you, my friend.
And the pinned comment. Anybody else want to say anything else, or
invite me to all your political debates? Check out my YouTube channel. I threw it up in the messages.
What's your YouTube channel? What's the name?
Average Debate Enjoyer has my name in.
Average Debate Enjoyer. Yeah, he's a good guy. You guys should check it out. Atlas, do you have anything?
I'm a menace online. I like to be a boogeyman. I have no channel.
What's your name?
I have no channel. I just like to be a boogeyman.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you here. Honestly, I do.
Yeah.
I hope you keep coming back. All right, everybody. I'm gonna cut it because I feel like I'm losing my voice here. So
I agree.
And I encourage you all to keep checking back. Thanks.